the tape, bro. Run 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 the tape, the tape. Run the tape, bro. Run the tape, bro. Run the tape, bro. The tape. UGA game day, boy, we ball out. Pull up, put the whole conference in the doghouse. Leave them 6 feet, see me on the win streak. All-star status, go coach, and the bench deep. Right. Offense on 10, how we run it? Your best ain't nothing, we gon' send them boys punting. Yep. Black and red, got them dead on arrival. Defense hunkered down for the tie. Hey, hey, you don't want it with the dogs. Film guy on it, you don't want it with my dog. Break it down, play by play, that's the day-to-day. Yeah. They know we ain't come to play, boy, it's UGA. Right. Kirby Smart, I cannot play the fool. Back to back, we did not come to lose. Back to back, like we got something to prove. Pay your dues, dog nation on the move. What's up?
We do a little bit different around here.
We ain't come to play, we ain't come to play. Shut up and grind the tape.
The tape, the tape.
We ain't come to play, we ain't come to play. Them dogs in your face.
Let's grind.
We ain't come to play, we ain't come to play. Shut up and grind the tape.
Shut up. Let's grind.
We ain't come to play, we ain't come to play. Them dogs in your face. Shut up and grind.
Let's grind.
Run the tape, bro. Run the tape, bro. Run the tape.
The tape. The
Shut
tape.
up and grind.
Let's grind.
Run the tape, bro. Run the tape, bro. Run the tape, bro. Shut up and grind. Run the tape, bro. Run the tape, bro. Run the tape.
The tape.
Shut up and grind. Run the tape, bro. Run the tape, bro. Run the tape, bro.
Shut up.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to MBR, or as we like to call it around here, Nothing But Rants, the show where I find topics that I'm oddly passionate about and I pontificate upon them. These are not hot takes, but rather takes that I'm hot about. What's up? You really like that?
Let's shut up and grind some tape.
It was not fun. But no, I have not seen Christmas Story through and through.
Well, if you're awake on literally any time on Christmas Day, you'll have a chance to watch it.
Honestly, Kirby, do you know the last time I watched linear television that was not live sporting?
I
have not watched, because I know, I'm sure it's on AMC, I'm sure it's on TNT, I'm sure it's on all the TV channels throughout the entire Christmas time.
The whole day.
But no, I have not watched it through and through. Good movie?
I love it. I think it's a great movie.
It's not my favorite.
It's been one. It's a family movie for us. Like, that is one of the movies that we must watch every single year.
Okay. That's good to know. Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to an absolutely insanely loaded Tuesday night here on the show. Folks, like, your mic is low. No, I was low. What's up? We back on top now. We're high. We're up here. We're high. We loud enough? I think we're loud enough now. Ha! Here we go. Let's get after it. Insanely loaded show. Private equity, been flirting with the sport. It's finally here. Biggest questions for each football program going into the college football playoff. We're going to talk about that. We got Heisman ballots. We're going to give you ours tonight. All that good stuff. We got bowl games to talk about tonight. There are already 250 people here tonight. Oh, my Lord. We just started this sucker. It's going to be a good one tonight. We got report cards to hand out for teams whose regular seasons have concluded. Add Notre Dame to the report card list, by the way. I think during the notes, weren't they on the verge of a playoff team? Did we put them on the report card list?
I think we just completely forgot them.
Yeah, go ahead and put them on the list because their season hath concluded. So we're going to give them a report card tonight. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button, like, subscribe, rate, review. We got a loaded show for you guys tonight. Let's start here. As I mentioned, private equity has been flirting with the sport of college football for quite some time. And now it's officially here. We done got married. BYU was flooded and influxed with a lot of cash annually, on an annual basis, it seems, moving forward, due to Crumble, the cookie company. To what did Utah respond to that with? Taking $500 million from a private equity fund by the name of Otro today. I do the reading so you don't have to. Here's what we got going on. $500,000 influxed into the Utah athletic football or athletic program. Let's call them the money-making sports out there. What's up? Yeah?
No, I like that.
Yeah, you like that?
Yep.
Influxed into the money-making sports out there. The sports that if we make them good, people will watch them. We can market them. We can then make a return on investment, which that's what this is about. And we'll talk more about that as we get going forward. But I did the reading so you don't have to. It appears the athletic director and president, quote, must obtain decision making. That is the only way the NCAA will allow this. You get $500,000 from an investment fund, or $500 million, You get $500 million from an investment fund as long as the athletic director and president of the university maintain decision making. Okay, what we got going? Are you trying to turn your thing back on?
Hey, yeah.
So we got that. Now, here's what else you need to know. Okay, the university and Otro now own, quote, a for-profit company known as Utah Brands and Entertainment LLC. You are no longer the Utah Utes. You are the Utah Brand and Entertainments LLC, a for-profit sports entertainment industry. How about that? How you feel about that?
I hate it.
Yeah. How you feel about that sound right there?
I hate it.
You are a for-profit company by the name of Utah Brands and Entertainment LLC. How we chant that one? Go UBE-LLC.
Yeah, that flows right off the mouth.
Hell yeah. Right off the tip of the tongue. Look, I do have a fake master's degree. No offense to my alma mater. No offense. Look, I'm not no genius.
Damn.
How about that language? I'm not no genius. I did apply my master's in business for about 5 years before my takes took me to the top, baby, and got me up out of that. All right? I think one day I might have a jackhammer back in my hand, but you know what? That might just be for fun.
Oh.
You know?
That good of a time, huh?
Jeez, you know, might just find a Saturday in February just to get active. I don't know. But until then, we're going to be talking on a microphone. But I did go to school. I did do some studying. I do have thoughts about private equity, all right? And here's my understanding about private equity. Simple as I can put it, because I like to put things in dummy terms, even the things that I know really, really well, like that game of football. They gave them $500 million in 5 to 7 years during this contract time. They expect more than that in a return on investment. Now, the number one question you should ask when a company says, I'll give you $500 million and expect more within 5 to 7 years, or however long they expect the return on investment, they gonna cut the budget. And how do they do that? Well, because how do you make money on something that's always lost? That's the thing I've always worried about, this private equity money. How do you come into college sports, something that always loses money? It's a net neutral, non-profit organization, and come in and make money off of it. Well, the easy answer is logos. They finna, for lack of a better term, they finna sell it out. I was gonna say something else. They finna sell it out. There's gonna be logos everywhere. There's gonna be logos on the jerseys. There's gonna be logos on the field. There's gonna be a lot more investment and marketing around the product. Yes, they will probably try to streamline the TV rights deal or do something else there, make more money. But the most important thing you need to know about, if you're a Utah fan or if you care about the athletic program as a whole, is that they're gonna start squeezing that budget. There's gonna be cuts left and right. There's gonna be a lot of people that they deem non-essential to the mission of making sure we get our money back. Now, the AD and the president might be able to decide whether or not they can fire the head football coach or hire the next head football coach when Whittingham retires. But whether or not the soccer team gets multiple jerseys, or whether or not the soccer team, or let's call it the women's basketball team, is riding a bus 12 hours across the country instead of flying charter or whatever they've been doing, that type of decision-making ain't going to be on the president and the athletic director. It's going to be on the Otro company that gave them $500 million. So I hope everybody understands that about what's going on right here. I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
I don't like it. I don't understand it for the points that you're making of I don't understand how you throw all this money at something that doesn't really make all that much money enough to get you a return on investment. I just think it feels slimy. It feels gross. I don't like it being
At least
here.
it ain't Saudi money. That's the good news.
Yeah, it's not
That's
that.
the good news. It ain't blood money.
But it's a slippery
right
slope right to that.
That's right around the corner.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, it'll be here.
real slippery slope.
I mean, it couldn't have been a school that is in the state of Utah taking blood money, I would imagine.
Yeah, they probably don't like that. But no, I mean, no, this is exactly what we worried about of you kind of open Pandora's box with the NIL era of how everyone spend, and now certain teams that want to be competing are looking for other ways to get an influx of cash, and it just so happens that one of them has sold their soul.
This wouldn't have to happen if we actually played under the rules of the College Sports Commission and actually sanctioned this thing under $20 million rev share annually. Because I think every Power 4 football school can afford that because their TV allotment allows that. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You get $30 million off rip from most of these conferences for just being in the conference and being on television. Okay, so that should cover most of your rev share. Should cover your salary and your rev share. Everything else is about how you manage the actual making of money as an athletics department. But we don't play under those rules. We play under the rules of, BYU's operating under the rev share on College Sports Commission, and the Crumble guy just promised what, an extra $10 million a year?
Something like that.
That's what we're talking about. So it's a different game. They don't play by the rules. They don't intend to play by the rules, so they have to sell their soul to not play by the rules to be competitive in a place that doesn't apply rules. So there you go. That's where we're at. But I do like one thing about this. I do think it is pretty cool that the really rich people in Utah can now buy a stake of the Utah Utes. They're basically the Green Bay Packers of college football.
Yeah, but what
if you read the bylines of this, I don't know how much it costs. How much you think a unit of the Utes is? Should I call my broker?
No.
Hey, how much is a unit of the Utes? Somebody let me know.
It's not the Utes anymore. It's the
How much is a unit of the Utah Brands and Entertainment LLC? Let me get a price check on that one at JP Morgan.
I'm good.
That's just like
gross.
Man, you know what? You know what I used to, when I used to tell my friends I love college football more than pro ball, you know why I used to tell them? Because it's for the love of the game. Because they love it more. It ain't about contracts. It ain't about making money. It's about the front of the jersey. It ain't about the back. And now look where we're at.
Yeah, now look where we're at. That's for sure. Like,
I'm going to get behind it. I'm going to talk about these damn games, but I don't like this machine. You know what I mean? I ain't got to love the machine, but I damn sure love the games that the machine produces.
And this is just the beginning of, not even, the offseason hasn't even begun. We're still playing football games. So we're not even at the start of end of January. All right, here we go. We got to walk through the desert again this year. I mean, who knows who else is going to join this list by the time next season starts up.
I almost feel like giving them 3 for it not being Saudi money. But instead,
no.
I
will not be giving my 3 to them.
They do not get any 3.
Not even a half.
They get
3.
Yeah, -3.
-3.
Like Alabama's rushing
Who's
yards.
next? I mean, Colorado's already been caught on the plane to Saudi.
I think UNC's probably
UNC. They were also caught. He typed out a letter to the Saudi wealth fund. Did Michael Lombardi or whichever one of the Lombardi? I don't mean to slander Michael. Which one of the Lombardis is up there? Is it Michael?
I can't remember. I think it's Michael, but
one of the Lombardis is up there running that roster and doing a tremendous job on the high school recruiting rankings in top 15. Did they finish strong? I didn't quite look that up on
North
National
Carolina.
Signing Day. Huh?
North Carolina?
Yeah.
They had a pretty strong showing for
it
what
was
that
top
season
15
was.
last time I checked. I just didn't know where they rounded
top
out.
20 easily. I can't remember if it's top 15. I think it's like 17. But yeah, no, I mean they had a fairly strong showing.
Yep.
They finished 17th.
That'll do it. That's got to be 3rd in the ACC.
I believe it was.
Yeah.
I believe they were behind Miami and Florida State.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
Clemson just behind them.
All right. Shall we do our Heisman ballot, gentlemen?
Let's do it.
Make sure you hit that thumbs up button, guys. Make sure you're subscribing. We got almost 500 people in here. I have no idea how many thumbs ups. It's not enough, okay? So I'm going to give you an opportunity. Go ahead and exit the chat. Go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. That's how we get found in front of new people. Look, YouTube's algorithm is based off this. Do the people that subscribe, you guys that are here every single night, do you show up and love up on everything that we do immediately? And do you stay a while? Y'all do a great job of it. That's why we keep getting found and put in front of very new people. All right. So during the live streams, it's important that you hit those thumbs up buttons and fire off in the chat, all that good stuff. I don't even know how Super Chubs do. I don't even know how that does towards the algorithm. We normally don't sit here and talk about them openly. We just respond to them at the end of the hour. Let's get into this Heisman ballot. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go all around these 3 microphones. We're going to lay out the ballot, explain our thought processes, and give our voting. Do we all understand?
Mm-hmm.
We all got that?
Sounds
That's
good.
how show sheets went down before, so that's how we're going to do it. I'll go first. I think there are 4 people on the ballot, right? It's Julian Sand, it's Fernando Mendoza, it's Diego Pavia, and it's Jeremiah Love. Those 4 people. Now, people will say, Gunnar Stockton, not quite. All right? I don't know why, but he's just not. So let's keep it to 4. All right? I think those 4 have earned the right to be in this discussion. I immediately knocked Julian Sand out. Immediately. All right? The reason being, it didn't look all that great this past weekend. As a matter of fact, he ain't really racked it up all that much this season as an individual football player, which will lead me to my next point. Nobody has. Nobody in college football this year has put up an absolute wow stat line. Nobody has really filled it up at an absolute insane level. Used to win the award as a quarterback, you basically had to be responsible for 5,000 total yards and 50 touchdowns. We ain't got a player in Division I football, not even mid-major level, responsible for anything close like that, I don't believe. So the amount of individual stat padding has not happened this year. So we in those 4 groups of individuals, I went based off who has played great in big-time football games, and I settled with my number 1 choice being Jeremiah Love. I think the only football team that held Jeremiah Love at bay was Miami. He was tremendous all-purpose-wise against A&M. Hell, he had 24 totes for 228 against USC. He had 23 totes for $147 against Pittsburgh. He's responsible for 1,600 total yards, 21 total touchdowns. I think he is the best individual football player in all of college football. He would go number 1 for me, all right? Number 2 for me would be Diego Pavia, all right? Because he has, among all these people, actually racked it up. This guy put up 4,000 total yards and 36 touchdowns. That is as good as it gets in terms of total touchdown. Now, Mendoza's got 39 total touchdowns, but here's my quote-unquote beef with Mendoza, if you will. Yeah, we had big moments in Penn State. Yes, we had tremendously large moments against Ohio State. Yes, we are the quarterback of the number 1 team in the country. And maybe that's his own detriment to what I'm about to say. Guys, I don't know how I would feel about voting a guy for Heisman who has 1 300-yard passing game. And I don't know. I know it's a stat. It is as kind of a stat award. I do think we have to be a guy, like a freak. Like we gotta rack it up.
It's a stats and moments award.
Correct.
Like, that is literally
he had
what
plenty
it is.
of moments. He lacks stats. I think Pavia's had plenty of moments, has the stats. I think Jeremiah Love had plenty of moments and has the stats. Jeremiah Love, Pavia, Mendoza, saying that's my ballot.
I kind of agree, honestly. Like, I kind of agree with you because, like, as much as everybody claims that this is a non-QB award or this is a QB award.
Before you go into that, I forgot to say this. I feel really, really uncomfortable giving Jeremiah Love the Heisman Trophy the year after we didn't give it to Ashton Genty. And I think that will feel really, really slanted when we look back in history because Genty went over 2,000 yards and was the first back to do so in a long time.
No, he should have won it. He should have won it.
And maybe we just have to look at it in a vacuum, and that's the right way to do this
do.
if you're a voter and you have to. But I would feel really, really weird both voting it that way and allowing this segment to be said without saying that.
Right, and I'll preface by saying this. Like, Genty should have won it last year. I was on the Genty hype train before anybody was. So I wanted that guy to win the trophy last year. Ultimately, he didn't. But this is a new season. There's new contestants in here. You don't have a Travis Hunter in this year's Heisman Trophy race, okay? But I would argue that this is the year that it should go to a non-quarterback. I know it went to a non-quarterback last year, but we got 3 finalists that are quarterbacks and one that isn't. I would argue that the one that isn't a quarterback probably should win the Heisman this year because I would say that he's had more of an impact on his team. He's put up better numbers at his position than these quarterbacks have. It's like that just be my argument.
He's so much far and away better than the second best back in college football right now. Would you agree?
Yes.
He's so much further away than the second best quarterback in college football from Fernando Mendoza, especially from an individual season standpoint. I'm trying to look at these stats of winners, trying to go back to the last back to win one. The last back to win one was Derrick Henry. Has it been that long? Yeah, 2015. So he went for 2,200 yards, 600 more than Jeremiah Love. However, Jeremiah Love's averaged a full yard and almost a yard and a half.
Also,
more
keep in
per
mind
carry.
that's accounting a conference championship for Derrick Henry.
Correct.
And a national championship.
Might be end season totals here on Stat Reference. You're probably right. And then you got to go back to Mark Henry.
2009.
He had way better stats than Mark Henry.
Dude,
Mark Ingram. Excuse me. Mark Ingram.
Mark Ingram's Heisman campaign was
World's strongest man, Mark Henry. Mark it down.
Mark Ingram's Heisman campaign was somewhat of a all right.
Fugazi?
All right.
Oh,
Not,
I think
Ndamukong
did not
Suh won that
skip over Richardson in that group right there.
Trent Richardson never won the Heisman.
Oh, you're right. He just got there and had they did the montage with him. Who else? Reggie Bush's numbers got to be way. Oh,
Not
wow.
really. Reggie Bush
Reggie Bush had 1,700 yards and 16 touchdowns.
I mean, they're great.
So here's the deal. Jeremiah Love is the only one in this situation that if he wins the Heisman statistically, it will not stick out like a sore thumb. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, bro, Tebow had almost like 5,500 total yards.
Mm-hmm.
Robert Griffin III had 5,200 total yards, almost 6,000.
Yeah, it's not one of those years.
I know, except for at running back.
No, I know.
Which is why he should win.
Yeah, that's my whole argument of I think this should be a year more than any other where we should be okay with giving Jeremiah Love a Heisman Trophy.
I don't hate – first off, you could make a valid argument for pretty much any of the four guys in there with the exception of Julian Sayin, in my opinion. I don't hate the idea of giving Jeremiah Love the Heisman. I just personally feel like in my experience, in my lifetime of what the Heisman winner gets, and this is not what I agree with because I think the moniker that the trophy is awarded to the best player in college football is certainly not what it lives up to. The Heisman's always gone to players who are, one, on the better teams, and two, have bigger moments and the, oh my God, did you see this? Fernando Mendoza kind of led that this year. Whether or not you agree with the moments that they are the big ones, he has had the quote-unquote Heisman moments with the pass that he had against Penn State and then this past weekend with that deep fade shot to Ohio State. Like, unfortunately as it is, statistically speaking, no, I don't think he's the strongest Heisman candidate, but it is an award that, you know, has been awarded to players because of the moments that they have, and then stats sometimes come secondary. And if there aren't any huge moments, the stats then make up for it.
My ballot's Love. Your ballot's Love. Your ballot is.
I have Mendoza, Jeremiah Love, Pavia, and then Gunnar Stockton at 4.
But we all agree Mendoza's probably going to win.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Mendoza looks like the lock to
for
win.
sure.
Yeah. So
Which, you know what? I mean,
dude.
For the season that Indiana's had, that's a pretty cool way to cap it off. We even had a Heisman winner.
There isn't anybody that's won at that high of a rate that has had that high of moments.
No, yeah, I mean,
you know like even Jeremiah Love's one of his best games this year is in a loss against a good A&M team.
Yep.
So all of Mendoza's big moments are in wins. So give him the Heisman.
I get it. And look, I think we all can sit here and agree that the Heisman system is flawed.
Tremendous story too. I wish Tom Rinaldi can Tom Rinaldi do a 1-day contract for the Heisman.
Oh man, that'd be awesome.
Give me a 1 day for old Tom Rinaldi.
Dude, when ESPN
no disrespect, Marty. No disrespect at all to Marty Smith, because I'm sure that's who they're gonna send. Could you imagine Marty Smith going up to Hoosiertown, Indiana, to interview Mendoza for the Heisman? Who does those stories nowadays on the Heisman ceremony? It's got to be Marty, right? ABC has the contract.
I would assume it's probably
he does
Marty.
their deep story journalism, sweet stories now, right?
It's him or Ryan McGee usually.
Yeah, but Ryan McGee does the write-ups about this is why this is important.
Right.
And then does the poem over an overlay of B-roll.
Mm-hmm.
Marty's the one who's going to go ride in your truck.
This is true.
We'll
see. College Game Day was at its peak when it had Maria Taylor, Tom Rinaldi, Lee Corso firing on all cylinders.
Bro, the amount of lumps in the throat Tom Rinaldi would give a grown man
on
Saturday morning.
Dude.
Too bad he's on that sorry sack Fox broadcast right about now.
Jeez, way to just extinguish the fire we just built for that man.
Hey,
you were in your glory days.
Let's ask the chat. You heard a Tom Rinaldi sweet story that made you cry lately? I'm just saying.
I don't disagree.
There's apples, and then there's an orange over here that nobody really watches, but everybody watched the apple. And then they got the barstool guy that yells at people and tells them they're garbage over here. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So there we go. Chat's backing me up.
No,
I'm
right.
sure he got paid. I'm sure. Look, it probably ain't Tom's fault. It's probably ESPN's fault. It probably didn't pay him enough. It's probably agent doing good agent business, whatever it is. But I'm just saying, you go over to the Big Noon pregame show, you're probably not going to get the amount of eyeballs that you get on game day. Because I got choices, and my choice is game day.
Yeah, you got to make a choice.
Your choice what?
Game day.
Your choice what?
Game day.
Chat's choice what?
I was
Okay,
saying
then.
game day.
Okay, then. All right. Biggest questions for each college football team. Y'all ready to get after this one?
Let's hit it.
Let's do this. We're going to go 1 through 12. All right? Should we get the disrespect out first? Or should we build up to disrespect?
Let's go 12.
Let's just go ahead. Let's just go ahead and get the disrespect out of the way.
I have questions actually. Legitimate questions.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
Well, let's hear Kirby's questions.
No.
About
Let's do it this way. Let's do disrespect first, and then he can make his serious analytical points about these mid-majors that are more than likely going to get beat out by 30 points. I have 0 questions for JMU and Tulane. How many questions you got for JMU and Tulane?
Not a single one.
My question for JMU is, are you happy to be here?
Oh.
Because that's the only thing that matters for you guys. They were throwing streamers in the watch party. Like, as long as you guys are happy to be here, that's all that matters. Because we all know where this ends.
Dude, I told you. As soon as they saw that JMU was in the playoff, everything that went in their mind probably was like, yeah, now we got
Hey, look.
JMU playoff merch, baby.
Look, now this was really demeaning. Let's be even more demeaning. You got about a 1 in a 10 chance to beat whoever you got. JMU, I give you about 1 in 20 chance to beat Oregon. Tulane, I give you 1 in 10 to beat Ole Miss because they are, discombobulated right about now. But if you so happen to do so, if you so happen to overcome a 21-point odd, good luck against Ohio State. Good luck against Georgia.
Yup.
And then good luck 2 more times. You ain't doing it. It'll never be done.
Yep.
Ever.
Soak it in.
Which is why
Take it
I probably
all
shouldn't be
in.
there. Honest to God. And look, I'm not a mid-major sucks guy. I'm not a mid-major should ever not happen guy. I'm not a they should play their own league guy. If this were to happen, if there were ever to be a team to do it, I will allow it. But we should not be automatically given it.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I've ever said about this. So there we go.
Moving on.
Moving on. Number 10. I think the question about Miami. I put Mario Cristobal in a long list of football coaches that are, I don't believe it till I see it. You know what I mean? I don't believe you can go consistently play championship caliber football team, get your team up, prepared, ready to execute, win in the middle 8, beat teams the way, stranglehold teams, beat them in tight football games. I don't know if you can go win 4 of those in a row. That's my biggest question about Miami. It's not about their roster. They got plenty of weapons or plenty of ability, especially since Malachi Tony's turned into arguably like the second best freshman we've seen at wide receiver in, I don't know, a decade. Okay? So they have plenty of talent. My question about Miami will always be Mario Cristobal until it is not. Now, I said it's a long list of football coaches that meet this criteria. Bro, Ryan Day was this 12 months ago. Mm-hmm. So this could be shut up really, really quickly. And this is his opportunity to do so. And really, his first opportunity to do so from a playoff standpoint, right? He's always had too many of the SMU, Louisville-type losses to not even be in this discussion. He got in by the skin of his teeth. Maybe his team's motivated, but my biggest question is about him. I'm sure there's more about his quarterback.
I have 2 questions that kind of tie into one another. The first one is, can Carson Beck obviously protect the football?
There it is.
You got to do it for the entire playoff run at that fact. And the first opponent that you have in Texas A&M, they do a good job of creating havoc and leading into turnovers. That defensive unit that they have over there, they've done it all year. So can you do that on the road at Texas A&M, which let's remind everybody that Miami has not done a lot of traveling, playing road games this year.
Nope.
The last time they went out and played in Texas was SMU, and they lost.
Jonathan, do you know the maximum stadium capacity they have played in all year long?
52.
Formerly known as Heinz Field, 69,000 Pittsburgh.
Okay, and they're about to walk into
R.I.P.
one of the
Heinz.
biggest.
And I highly doubt that was sold out.
It was not, I can tell you right now.
Safe to assume.
So for a team that has not done a lot of traveling, not a lot of playing on the road, certainly hasn't played at a Kyle Field venue.
Is it safe to say they will play in front of a stadium that is a crowd capacity that's twice as large as anything they played in front of all year? That's 107.
It is
It's 107. So there has to be a Miami game this year on the road that has had at least 53,000 people in it.
How many does SMU sit? Because that's the only one.
26? They play in a soccer stadium, big dog.
Oh, never mind then. Yeah, no, probably.
32.
Yeah, come on. Put
some
some
respect.
respect on
Oh,
SMU's
don't
name.
sorry,
forget that
I
6,000.
shortchanged you $6K at the SMU stadium. My
that-
bad, Stangs. Don't come after me.
That means a lot. Well, they were on the
They were on the road at Florida State. Doak Campbell sits like 53.
okay. So there's a number.
But still, that's it's going to be twice as loud, twice as big.
Dude, no, Doak Campbell's under 50.
No, it's not.
I thought it was suspiciously small.
It is suspicious.
53
is suspiciously small.
for what it
Did they
looks like.
sell it out?
I'm
I'm
sure.
sure-
I think they did.
Either way, massive road game for Miami.
But adding into that as well, can the run game not be nullified? That ties into Carson Beck and what this offense has been. Like, as great as that offensive line is, are you going to become one-dimensional against Texas A&M when you play them? If so, odds are not in your favor.
Yeah, that's kind of what my question leans into is, can you rely on what you're going to have advantages in? I don't think there's
Doak's 68K.
Okay, yeah, see, exactly. I don't think that there's a team that Miami is going to go against or would go against in this playoff where they would have a significant disadvantage on the line of scrimmage. Can you rely on that and help you out to win football games? Because I do think that your quarterback play has been inconsistent. Your explosiveness has been inconsistent at times. Your secondary has also given up big plays at times. So there's a lot of inconsistencies. I feel like the line of scrimmage is where you've been most consistent. Can you rely on that to win games?
Hey, maybe they get 4 games of hot Carson Beck.
Yeah.
That kid can dial it up.
Yes,
now.
he can.
It got to avoid turnovers.
If he plays like he did at the start of the season,
yeah,
absolutely.
If they
There's a
do,
world.
line of scrimmage wise, running the football wise. Like, I felt like they were complimentary till midway through the third quarter against Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Early to start the season. I don't know if they are that now. I don't know if they're going to be able to run for 140 yards in one of these playoff games.
Right.
That'll be a major question about them as well. Moving on to number 9, the Alabama Crimson Tide. Bro, it is nice and easy to pick this one out. I mean, this is a one-dimensional football team gets. Now, the major question about them is, can they get healthy, right?
Yeah.
Can they get healthy? I don't magically think the run fairy is going to show up and bless them.
No.
Not in week 14.
It's not going to happen. And by the way, not against the Sooners. Not against the Sooners. So that's my major question about them. Are they still one-dimensional?
My question on this for Alabama is your peak offensive output, or not peak offensive output, we saw this, is your standard offensive output what we saw in that 4-game stretch that you went on in October, or is it the last 6 games that you've had? Because those have been 2 staunchly different teams. Was the 4 weeks that you had where you beat Georgia, Tennessee, Missouri, and another ranked team, Vanderbilt,
Hell of a run.
was that, hey, this is the usual Alabama offense, this is what we can operate as when we are firing on all cylinders? Or is the last 6 weeks of, we have inconsistent line play, we can't run the football, our quarterback doesn't hit all of the shots that we need him to? Is that what that offense is? Because if that's what the offense is, you're not going to win many playoff games, if any.
Yeah, I mean, Alabama has to go on the exact streak that Kirby is talking about, where you beat 4 ranked teams in a row, and that offense and your quarterback, Ty Simpson, is hitting on all cylinders like he was during that time frame as well. If they can find that, if they can get back to that, which I don't know if it's possible because the more recent games that you played tell me that defenses have started to figure you out and find ways to put you in some trouble. That's exactly – and one of those teams is who you play in the first round. They did to you arguably the best other than Georgia. So – if that's the case, then maybe you got a chance. But, I mean, everything has to line perfectly for you on offense, and that's hard to ask for 4 games in a row.
Coming up next, the Oklahoma Sooners. Boys, I watched them today on offense, and I got notes.
Ooh, what's your notes?
I got notes, and I got a film study coming tomorrow. Also going to be on a big-time Oklahoma Sooners podcast tomorrow at 11 o'clock Central or Eastern time. You know what I have learned about the more and more I do these radio hits across the country?
What's that?
And podcast hits. Time zones are stupider than ever. Stupider than ever. However, I think the most ideal time zone for a sports fan is the Central Time Zone. I think you get best of both worlds.
I don't know. I'm a big fan of the
West Coast, waking up at 9 o'clock, cracking it out. I'm not. I like
I
that,
don't know,
dude.
man.
Here's the deal, okay? If me personally, my lifestyle, I like to have 9 to 12 to be a non-football related human being.
But then you get that in the evening.
No, I want to be in my domicile locked away from my children at 9 o'clock because they're asleep.
I don't know, man.
Locked away from your children?
Yeah, they're locked in their bedroom. They're sleeping.
Just saying.
Either way, I watched them today. Guys, they have no ability to create movement at the line of scrimmage. None. I think it's because they're young. I think it's because they got guys that are eventually going to get stronger as football players. But I think most importantly, watching them after watching them or having watched them after watching Indiana, bro, they have horrendous pad level. They play way too high. Now, there is a – will you give me a name on this? Number 88 from LSU, defensive tackle. Whew. Man, that guy plays low. That guy plays angry. That guy plays, I'm going to put your ass in the backfield.
Bernard Gooden.
Woo, Bernard Gooden. What grade?
Redshirt senior.
Oh, he gone. He going to play some time in the league. About 6'3", I'd say 305.
After I get rid of this ad, 6'1", 268.
Whoa, maybe not playing in the league for a long time. Man, that's why pad level was bad. Man, that is a sawed-off freakazoid. Dude, they had him playing shade in that football game.
Good Lord.
Oh, my God. Anyways, bad pad level. So we'll see if that is a problem in this football game. But, man, they can't move guys off the line of scrimmage. They do, however, have two backs from Oklahoma. Number 24, number 6. Two different style of backs. Here's what my notes say. I think I really, really like this one. I wrote them down today. One of them is downhill now. 26 is downhill now. He's a big back. He's going to get downhill now. Number 6 is downhill and see you later. Okay? Like, as soon as he gets one cut in the ground, he has found a crease, and he's going to get 9 yards before the safety tackles him. God forbid he gets past the safety. It's 65 to the door. Okay? Number 6 is a freshman. He's a really, really good football player. He's going to be there for a while. They spam runs, though. I explained it this way to Ryan Fowler on radio out there in Tuscaloosa today. Have you ever played somebody on College Football 26 that finds a run that hit and then they immediately spam the triangle and get back on the ball and run the same play? Mm-hmm. They do that, as the kids would say, IRL. Like, they do that in real life. There was two examples I'll give you in both the run game and the passing game against LSU. We'll watch this tomorrow. We're going to watch Oklahoma-Alabama rewatch together next week here in the studio, and we'll release that for you guys before the game. But I want to watch what they are as an offense right now. Their most recent outing is what I'm going to explain to you about the spamming of plays. They hit a 6-yard run outside zone with number 6 into the boundary, hop right back on the ball, run the same play again. But this time, because they do the same goofy split where they get the left tackle out wide so they can stretch the 9 technique and then slip into B gap and hit vertically right there, guess what they do? They spike the 9 technique into that widened B gap. They fire the nickel back, and now you got a -4 TFL.
Oops.
And now it was 2nd and 6. You thought it was about to be first down again because you're spamming the same run, but instead it's 3rd and 10 and you look like a goofy. You know what I mean? They do that. Now, in the run game, when you spam stuff like that against good defenses that are smart football players, guess what happens? You get a TFL. You do crap like that in the passing game, what you think happens? Interceptions. That's what happens. Bad things. Tips, overthrows, dead bodies. All right? And it happened in that LSU game. We're going to show you. Play number 45, I think it is. He makes an NFL throw. I mean, he'll like Bo Nix. Dips around a daggum nose tackle and does one of those, floats it over an underneath hook defender, gets up underneath the safety, and just barely gets the wide receiver back down on the ground before the safety kills him. Guess what they do? They hop right back on the ball, run the same exact play, and number 13, the safety from LSU, who's a good football player, smart, instinctual, sits there and goes, ain't no freaking way. Ain't no freaking way they're doing it again. Pick back the other way. It's crazy. It's insane to watch happen. And that they got that going on. All right. I think they're a wide zone football team. I think they are. I think they need to be. I think they need to be a wide zone football team. I think their wide receivers do a great job over the middle of the field. All right, now that I talked about the bad things, I'll talk about the good things. I think they do a really, really good job in the middle of the field with guys like number 5, the Satanga kid, I think is his name. Number 12, the converted linebacker that's a wide receiver. And number 4, in that order, okay, over the middle of the field against zone coverages. They do a really, really good job. They'll also double move in zones. Like Alabama's big-time zone football team, they'll take the number 3 wide receiver, run him on like a red zone out and up in the middle of the field. Just hoping that somebody bites, a zone defender hooks, and then they're bang. Now they're in the middle of a wide open area running after the catch. They do a great job of creating chunks as well. They are not a very efficient, consistent offense. They are an offense that is predicated off of, can we get one 40-yard play, put us in field goal position, old short's going to hit one. All right? Y'all know who old shorts is?
the
Can you
kicker.
give me a name on that guy? He's pretty good. They just might get enough explosives to win with their defense. That's their game plan, right? If you
Tate
become
Sandell. Tate
a
Sandell.
cool. When you are a man-to-man pressure football team, okay, which Alabama is not, but if they become one, LSU mans up everybody. You should know that about them at this point in the season. But if you become a man-to-man pressure football team, he wears number 12 constantly. And number 12's 10 months removed from playing linebacker.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's where they're at with weaponry-wise. Now, let's talk about Mateer. I tweeted about this today, and I truly believe this. I think there are 2 wow throws per half. Per half, he'll do something where you're like, man, the B-roll clip of this dude's going to be insane. The highlight throws on this guy in the pre-draft process are going to get somebody drunk and upset when it comes to draft night. But anyways, 25% chance he got an arm side miss all the time.
Yep.
He will spray it to the arm side all the time. He threw a pick against LSU trying to throw a back shoulder fade to the left that floats back inside arm side to the corner, hits him right in the face mask going back the other way. All right? There are all the times in the middle of the field where he's trying to hit Diggs, arm side miss, balls tipped, flared. Okay? I would schedule everything for this guy that's working back to him to his right, so when he does miss, he misses out of bounds and not towards defensive players, which makes me very one-dimensional offensively because I'm literally attacking one area of the field as a coordinator. You would think by year 2, Arbuckle would figure this out. You would also think by year 2, Mateer would be missing reads, and he misses a ton of reads. He misses reads in the quarterback read game, RPO game, all kind of bad decisions at the quarterback position. And that's really, really interesting to see for, again, a guy that's been there 2 years. And an absolute lunatic with the ball, like ball protection. Lunatic. Does not really care. Is going to do things that make you scratch your head constantly. I mean, he makes Avery Johnson look disciplined from a mechanical standpoint. And if you've heard me talk about Avery Johnson, that ain't good. Okay? Now, all that being said, he still win multiple playoff games with 95 yards rushing and 112 yards passing on 3 explosives and a defense that held your ass to 17 points, and he scored 20. And I think that's the recipe. And I think, honestly, come next week, I might be picking Oklahoma to do exactly that. I might pick Oklahoma to do exactly that because I think they can do it. They did exactly that down the stretch of their college football season.
Yeah, my question for Oklahoma was, can your offense average 24 points over the next 4 games?
Yeah.
If your offense can do
That's a
that,
great question.
you're going to have a great shot at potentially winning a national title. But that's also a big question for this offense because you're going to be going up against some of the nation's top defenses, and they might be able to nullify that offense that has been very shaky throughout this season.
My question also pertains to the offense, and it's how much time off between now and this game that you're going to play on the 20th has John Mateer's thumb had to be healthy enough, and can he take care of the football?
Kirby, watching it today, it ain't got nothing to do with the thumb no more. He's himself again. It's just at this point.
Oh, it's just that's John Mateer?
At this point, we're playing Mateer ball back.
Well, then
again.
I agree with
this
Joe.
This is from the ear Mateer. You'll see it when we watch tape. That it's popping again. The ball is jumping. Like there is no more excuses on tape. This is all decision making, errant misses, bad accuracies, things that we talked about early on with this guy, and he football playered his way out of it. Now look, he still makes 4, 5, 6 big time throws every single game. The important thing is that Oklahoma scores when they do that. That's the important thing down the stretch.
Then I second Jayl's question, and can you average 24 points on offense?
And can your defense avoid a bad day? Which
Yeah.
they ain't had a bad day yet.
No, they have
They ain't
not.
had a bad day yet. Excuse me. Oklahoma or Ole Miss.
Yes.
Ole Miss got
They had a bad day
That is a
against Ole
bad
Miss,
day.
and most defenses have had
And
a
people
bad
will say
day.
they gave up 28 points to Texas. You did not watch that game. There were 7 points scored on special teams, and there was a shitload of short fields. Okay? That was an extreme defensive performance, I felt like. Didn't they hold them to like 225 yards of total offense?
Yeah, it was not
Yeah.
good offensively for
Yeah,
Oklahoma.
it was not a good offensive game. Next question, Texas A&M. I think for me, it's quarterback turnovers and these random defensive performances where y'all give up 200 yards rushing. Don't know what's going on there. That's weird. I think I know what's going on there.
Yeah.
Stacking gaps, creating havoc, trying to search it too much.
Yeah, they're horrible.
We found those stats today.
They're 103rd against for 20-plus yard rushing plays, 122nd for 30-plus yard rushes this year.
Bad.
Really bad for explosive runs. So that might maybe Miami can capitalize off of that, but
That's also questionable speed at secondary.
Mm-hmm.
If we're that bad, we ain't getting guys on the ground. Speed and tackling at the secondary if we're that bad. And we stumbled into this on SEC this morning on Sirius XM radio this morning with Peter Burns and Chris Doring. I'm glad you were in the studio because I was just talking on film like we always do, and the film says they stunt more than most defenses. They send pressure more than most defenses. They are trying to hunt havoc more than most defenses. And when you do that, you open yourself up to being gutted yourself because, God forbid, we put two guys in one gap. Or we say that a lot more or less delicately most of the time. But
I have a very simple question for Texas A&M is your schedule going to bite you in the butt? Is it going to be where – and I think we kind of got like a prelude to this against Texas where you kind of walk through this schedule. You play the bottom half of the SEC, like literally the bottom half. Those are the teams that you played. And then you play Texas, and you get handed your first loss of the year, and you're not in the SEC championship game, but you do get a first-round home playoff game. Is that going to pop up for them? Because for my money, this might be a team that I say they could be this year's, didn't see that one coming in the first round, but you might have should have.
Yeah, my question is how consistently inconsistent is Marcel Reed? We know that he is going to have a throw or two a game where it's like, well, what are you doing? Does he have one or two of those throws, or does he have 4 or 5? Because if he has 4 or 5, things end up like we saw with Texas. If he has 4 or 5, we go, they're down how many to South Carolina in the first half? Stuff like that. Like A&M can find itself in holes if Marcel Reed does not take care of the football.
has anybody other than South Carolina for a half gotten after this guy? Been able to consistently get after this guy? Because the offensive line's played fairly well all year long.
They have. Absolutely.
All year long. Apart from, in my opinion, that one game against South Carolina, that one half.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Now, I personally felt like LSU was.
But this is the best unit they've played as a whole.
And they decided to pour a little gasoline on the Ruben Bain fire. That does not ever help yourself.
He said, if any moment I'm tired in that football game, just think about that.
Like, why? Why would you do that to yourself?
Go give a top 20 player everything he needs.
Top 10?
Top 10, top 5. Top 5.
That's one of the first guys off the board, man.
One of the best players in college football. Here's some food for you, big boy.
Stoke that fire a little bit.
Who was it? A tackle that had the nerve to say it?
I think so.
Buddy, if that was an interior offensive lineman that had the nerve to say some shit like that.
Just chub up the waters.
Ben Gay in the helmet. Ben Gay in the helmet. Ben Gay in the girdle. Ben Gay in the girdle. He's getting the works.
Not the girdle.
He's getting the works. God forbid. If I'm a tackle and my guard says some shit like that about Ruben Bain, Ben Gay in the helmet.
But hey, if it works out well for you, you look like a gangster.
Question for Ole Miss is obvious. Duh.
Yeah,
head coach,
it's the Lane Kiffin.
Play caller.
What is with no Lane Kiffin?
What are you in?
Now that they've announced it, basically it's the entire staff except for Lane Kiffin. Do you think that really changes much? Do you think Lane Kiffin had that much of an impact?
No, I think Lane Kiffin read too much on Twitter about how much people hate him, and he was like, you know what, y'all can go back.
I'm allowing them to go back.
Y'all can all go back. Y'all can go back. We'll see y'all in a month.
Do you think that
I don't think it doesn't change any opinions about me because I know, in my opinion, I know how powerful Lane Kiffin's final thoughts are on every play. Because no offense to Charlie Weiss Jr., no offense to Dane Stevens, the quarterback's coach that returned, no offense to anybody on that offensive staff that has returned over that place. No offense to Joe Judge. None. Please do not take any offense to this. But they don't talk about y'all. Like Nick Saban and Kirby Smart do not talk about y'all when they talk about preparing for that offense. They talk about Lane Kiffin. That's who they talk about. And that's who they prepare for. That's who keeps them up at night. That is why teams just revert to playing man-to-man coverage against them, because he just pulls it down and says, they're in this zone coverage. This is going to be available. Just throw it.
Do you think that Lane is helping behind the scenes any with this?
Hell no. Hell no. Lane Kiffin is hoping that they score a fat goose egg against Tulane.
I was wondering.
You really think he hopes to get goose egg?
Buddy, you think Lane Kiffin wants any possibility that Ole Miss people or anybody associated with college football can look at this and go, oh, maybe Lane Kiffin was a problem? Maybe
a
Lane
good
Kiffin
point.
isn't a good football coach.
That's a good point.
I mean, depends.
Are you kidding me?
You've
Lane
already-
Kiffin, Mr. I want to be liked.
I don't think it's I want to be. I think it's a pride thing of
You
oh
think
yeah,
I want to be talked about?
see how valuable I was to this team.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was Lane Kiffin was a problem. Lane Kiffin doesn't care about being liked.
No, I'm not saying Lane Kiffin. I'm saying I think Lane Kiffin was one of the primary reasons why they score what they score.
Yeah.
Why they are what they are.
When we broke them down
I think
on
it's
film,
going to be a real problem.
What I'm wondering is, does Charlie Weiss call Lane and say, "Hey, for this concept, what would you do in this situation?"
but it's more so what's happening in the moment. I mean, like when we broke Ole Miss down on film earlier in the year when they played Georgia, Brooks pointed out, like, you could see it on film of Lane Kiffin sitting there at the first down marker,
stands at the sticks,
stands right there and tells them, hey, this is what they got.
gives them the whole entire answers to everything that is in front of them. So that's why I'm very curious to see, like, is Charlie Weiss Jr., who, by the way, they've all been in the box the entire time. None of these guys have been on the field. Mm-hmm. Is Charlie Weiss now having to call plays on the field, or is he up in the box? Is he doing the calling in from the box? See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's a whole different vibe, and that's why it was an easy question there. For Oregon, it's not even a negative question about their football team. I got positive questions about Oregon. What do they look like healthy?
Yeah.
I haven't seen this football team at all in full juice, and we're still not going to see it because I don't think Evan Stewart's playing in this football game. Won't play until next year. But this is probably going to be the most healthy Oregon's been all year. I'm very curious to see what it looks like. They're going to be able to flex their muscles too.
My question for them is, how much does and again, sorry JMU, how much does a running start in this year's playoff help you out?
Yeah, what does
Because-
Oregon with momentum look
Yeah,
like?
because we saw what happened last year in the playoff where you had that week, that month off, and you came back in the Rose Bowl against Ohio State. It was like, this is a completely different football team that we just watched go 12-0. When you get this, for lack of a better term, tune-up game against JMU, and you can actually build some momentum in this playoff, what does that Oregon team look like?
For me, it's plain and simple. I think that this is where Oregon is at this point, and Dan Lanning's tenure there of, can you get over the hump? Is this going to be the year? Is this going to be the year where we get ourselves a playoff win and we kind of get some momentum rolling in the postseason, and we're no longer asking that question? Because that's just where it is, and that's nothing against Dan. I mean, coaches in the early stages of their careers, they go through this. Like, this happens.
We just talked about this with Cristobal.
Yeah, Cristobal had it going on. Ryan Day had it going on. Like, there's some hump that every coach has to get over.
Kirby Smart had it going on until last week.
Yeah. So this is your hump of, like, we finally got to get this one under our belt. And it's great that you get to play JMU because you'll get one under your belt. So maybe this will help us finally extinguish that, push it down flat to the ground.
Let's go on to Texas Tech. I think for me, it's, can they go through this? Can they go through 3 of these?
Yeah, literally.
What
That's
is
what I had.
the toughest stretch in their slate? I looked it up today. I think their toughest slate is Utah, a bye, Houston, Kansas, Arizona State.
Any toughest stretch that has and a bye included in that probably
Their
should
toughest
count.
4-game stretch. I'm not trying to be a smartass here. I'm being serious. Their toughest slate this year was Utah, a bye week, Houston, Kansas, and a loss to Arizona State.
Yeah.
This is a little bit different of an animal. You gonna go what? One of the winners of Oklahoma and Bama, and then what's their side of the bracket look like? What is
pull
their
that up really
slate?
quick.
What are the potentials for Texas Tech going down this stretch?
While we're waiting on that, I also think and we'll talk about
It'll
this.
be the toughest 3-game stretch in the history of the program.
Yeah,
Period.
I also think there needs to be
They get Oregon,
And then who?
and then Ohio State, or the winner of Alabama, Oklahoma.
It'll be the toughest 3-game stretch they've ever played.
I also think that we need to talk about how, and a little bit for Indiana as well, of how does not just a team, but a program that has traditionally never been in this situation, how do you handle that moment? Because Texas Tech, Indiana, they are riding so high right now. You have already had a historic season. Everything is so great. Meanwhile, you've got Alabama, Ohio State, Georgia, these programs that are absolute killers getting ready for a college football playoff.
I think
run.
it's more importantly such an important point because all of the most recent national title winners have gone through so many wars.
Yes.
They have so many scars. Like even Indiana. If Indiana goes on to win a national title this year, it won't be without the scars from last year. It won't be without the road loss to Ohio State. It won't be without the drudging or drumming they got from Notre Dame. It won't be without those losses. It won't be without those painful, you're not good enoughs. Nobody has shown up day one, been great, apart from the 2019 LSU Tigers.
Mm-hmm.
And they had 2018.
Yeah.
That team went through an 8-4 slate, having to go play UCF and having your quarterback knocked the fuck out in a bowl game. Like, all these teams go through some type of growing pains. That is Texas. Is this their season of growing pains? Because Lord knows they haven't had any yet. They had to go through some moment of controversy or whatever, testing with their backup quarterback or with the backup quarterback and a redshirt freshman in Graham Houston. I think that's his name. Apart from that, it's been smooth sailing for this football program. So we'll see.
And I did misspeak. It's Indiana that they would get, or the
Okay.
winner of the
Number 3, Georgia. I think the question for me is, what if they can't run the football?
Yeah, I put it as, will anybody be able to turn you into a one-dimensional team?
Yeah.
That flat line.
If you come up to an opponent that holds you 24 attempts for 84 yards, which I think, by the way, that'll be the worst of it. Like, if you do your best at stopping Georgia this year, stopping the run, that's what it's going to look like. Can Gunner be 285 good? Can Gunner be 285, 3 touchdowns, no turnovers good? That's what it would take in a game like that.
My question is,
And a decent defensive performance.
yeah, I think that the offense has been fairly consistent enough. My question is the defense that we've seen for the past month what this defense is
Yes.
now? Is that what they're firing on all cylinders?
I think they've been this the entire year, apart from young cornerback play early on, that is no longer a problem.
That's true. And I mean, like, there's no doubt that this is a completely different football team than the first, or defensive unit than the first half of the season. But there were still some questions of, oh man, Ole Miss is really taking it to them right now, and Tennessee's having their way, and Alabama's playing very efficient. Like, they've answered every question.
Yeah.
Is that truly what it's going to be for the next 4 or 5 games? Because if so, they are far and away one of the top contenders in this bracket.
Yeah, I mean, even the one game this year where Georgia got turned one-dimensional somewhat, where they couldn't really run the ball successfully a whole lot, was against Auburn, and they fought and clawed their way back into that one and ultimately won on the road. So
I'm a lot more worried about Ohio State than I ever thought I was going to be after watching that Big Ten championship game. They are not a great running football team, and the quarterback looked very, very shakeable in that football game. The quarterback looked extremely shakeable against a good defense in that football game, and that's by far and away the best defense they've played all year. I mean,
Yeah.
Michigan's the second best defense. Well, it's Texas, excuse me. And guess what? He scored 14 points. Didn't look all that great in that one either. I know it was his first start, but the offensive line, the running game, the quarterback looking shakeable. We talk about one-dimensional football teams all the time. Like, it's very plausible that they get put into a situation where they're in a shitload of 3rd and longs.
That
doesn't look good.
That was my concern of, like, we've gone for a while now of just kind of looking at the Ohio State roster and going, Julian Sain, 5-star, Brandon Inniss, Carnell Tate, Jeremiah Smith, best wide receiver group in the country. And we just all kind of assumed that, oh, yeah, Ohio State's got an elite offense.
It seemed, again, one of these unmess-upables. Watching them handle the sim pressures and all the different blitzes they got from Michigan and then look bamboozled against Indiana was like night and day. Maybe this is one of those situations where they needed a shakeup. Also, I mean, he was listed as the offensive coordinator all year long. That Brian Hartline guy's not there anymore. That happened all last week.
Mm-hmm.
That happened all during that lead up. There's a reason he's down there in South Florida for good now, I would imagine.
Yeah, I mean, my question for Ohio State is, do you actually have an elite championship caliber offense, or is it a lot of really, really, really good parts?
There was rumors that Matt Patricia was suddenly getting calls at Penn State before the Matt Campbell thing happened. So I'm not making excuses for Ohio State. I'm not at all. But they don't have a coordinator right now, and the head coach is going to have to go do that now. Also, the head coach was spotted in Las Vegas this week. Do you know why?
I would imagine.
You should know why.
Oh.
Chip Kelly, out there in Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
Just a thought.
Just to let you know, Chip Kelly is not in Vegas anymore.
I know he's fired.
He might
he's
still
probably
be
still living out there.
He might still be residency.
He's probably still got a house out there. Probably still living. If the head football coach of Ohio State wanted to make a stop and talk to Chip Kelly, he would probably be in Vegas to do so.
That's fine.
Why else would he be in Vegas? Seeing a matinee?
Why else would anyone go to Vegas?
I don't know. There's a lot of reasons to go there.
Yeah. What?
My whole thing for Ohio State is Indiana's defense is great. I'm not saying this by demeaning them by any means because they got good players. They did a tremendous job playing against Ohio State's offense this past weekend. But there's going to be other defenses that are of that caliber or maybe even better or at least more talented than Indiana's defense.
Yeah.
And they boxed you. They boxed you up. They held your weapons. They
in a base personnel.
Yeah.
With a 6'2", 230-pound linebacker playing in space.
So, and knowing that you're on the side of the bracket where you might be matched up against Georgia, I don't know. Like, that would kind of concern me just a little bit. And, like, especially considering of if we get put in a playoff situation and today we have to go and look at Julian Sayin and say, for the first time all year, you got to go do this. I don't know.
Yeah, and again, that goes back to my original question for them. Is Ohio State actually an elite championship offense, or is it a bunch of really, really, really good parts that don't necessarily make a whole machine? And then we'll find that out eventually. I mean, it's kind of reared its ugly head the last 2 weeks of just not bad performances, but, I mean, Indiana was a bad performance, but just not otherworldly performances. So I'm interested.
Which brings us to the number one team in the country, the Indiana Hoosiers. My number one question for them is depth, okay? They just played their first playoff game against a playoff football team essentially last week, and I'm pretty sure they sustained an injury to a starter.
Yes, Stephen, or it's either Stephen or Stephen Daly.
I don't know if they can have multiple of those. Like, I don't know how good his backup is.
Yeah.
That's why I've always said, and maybe they proved me wrong this year, I've always said you kind of had to recruit it at a top 15 level for 3 or 4 straight years so when this does happen. Like, these are physical one-score football games where you're maxing out every single rep and you're bound to get hurt eventually or dinged up or something hurts. So you're not going to be able to play 100%. Like, how deep are we? That matters, man. Like, God forbid, Chat's already hit on it. Mendoza took massive hits in that football game. Now, like, I know this applies to everybody, but if Gunnar Stockton goes down, Georgia can probably still lean on 140 yards rushing. If Julian Sayin goes down, they're going to roll out a guy that gave him a sweat in Luke Conholes during the process of his, camp, whatchamacallit. It's a 4-star football player, not Fernando's brother. No offense to Fernando's brother. I'm sure he's good, but it's not a former blue-chip football player. And that applies not just at the quarterback position. That applies everywhere and across the roster.
That plays into my question of, like, can this defense continue to hold up, especially, like, if Daly isn't able to go, which, by the way, guys, this is a guy that has 19 tackles for loss on the year. I mean, this is one of their havoc-wreaking players that has been phenomenal for them. And if you're without that for the rest of the playoffs, that's a big loss. Or heck, even for your first playoff game, that's a major loss. This like everybody talks about Fernando Mendoza, Surratt, all those guys on offense, but that defense has been a true backbone of that football team. I mean, I would point at that when you look at their win against Oregon. The defense was the one that ultimately prevailed for them to go and win that one on the road. I was most impressed with that unit coming out of that game. So can the defense hold up for the next 3 games for them? If so, you're going to be in a great spot because their offense continues to do enough under Cignetti.
Yeah, protecting Mendoza is going to be, I think, the number one thing for them because we have seen if he gets heated up at times, you go back to arguably the worst game they've played all season was against Penn State. Not as a blue chip roster, there's a lot of talent there, but that was a bad football team. They had a lot of issues protecting him, and subsequently you saw him make some errant throws. That late interception in the second half, of course, was not great. That's my number one question. My number 2 question kind of pertains back to what we were talking about with Texas Tech of this is an unprecedented space to be in if you're an Indiana Hoosier. You're a Big Ten champion. You're 13-0. Everyone's kind of loving up on you right now. Are you going to get caught up in that, or are you going to shift your focus onto winning college football playoff games because you are going against much more formidable talent now? And by the way, you're going to be going up against some programs that are killers. We just listed them off. These are teams that have all been here before. They're not new to this. This isn't exciting for them. This is still work to do. So answering those 2 questions is going to be big.
My man said they got work to do. We do as well here around this channel. We got a whole nother hour.
Do we have Super Chubs?
Super Chubs.
Let's make them
check. Let's
check.
do Super Chubs. Let's check them, make sure we do. I don't know if we do. Do we?
I saw a few,
of course
I'm
we
pretty
do.
sure.
Zach Branch says, if you're not Bama Brooks anymore, I'm not a Tech fan. Go Dogs. Oh, that's the Tech fan that asked me a question about Georgia Tech. He's trying to change his
Zach
name.
Branch?
I think his name's Zach Branch Fiend. I think he's just praying that they get another Zach Branch type football player out there at Georgia Tech. I don't know what he's got going on. JS Me 200 said there's no way in the world in which private equity money buys UGA, right? I don't think so. But I'm just saying the Black Rock themed TCU Horned Frogs would go kind of hard. That's a joke.
Ew.
William Gray says, I get the G5 issue, but OSU ripped Tennessee 42-17 and Oregon 41-21. Penn State ripped SMU 38-10. Georgia massacred TCU 65-7 blowouts happen. You're right.
But
William Gray, what's up?
But that's not the issue that we have. It's the issue that you're sending teams that have virtually no chance of ever competing for a national title.
Correct.
And everyone wants to point to TCU as a charity case. No, TCU was a Big 12 team that contended for a Power 4 championship.
William Gray also doubled down and said, love watching your show. You help me become more of a ball knower every show. Boomer Sooner. Attaboy.
Hell yeah.
Attaboy. Attaboy. Boomer Sooner. That's all about being a ball knower. We love it. All right, let's go to the local hour. We'll see you on the other side.
Welcome into Talk the Dog, the show where we find a bone to pick and a take to give. These are not hot takes. These is dog takes. Can I talk that dog?
What's up? You really like that?
Let's shut up and grind some tape.
Let's shut up and let's grind. They do a lot of this, right? It's a little bit hairy. I think they actually do a really good job of picking up the three that came. Oh, stick the ball out. Talking about putting your face on a man. Hey, he coming. Always got to know who's coming. Forgot to do this Sunday, forgot to do this Monday. We keep a jar around here. It's a jar of champions, all right? This jar has championship confetti from every championship football game that I have had the pleasure of covering. We forgot to add one to the collection last night. So here we have 2023 SEC champion or 2025 SEC championship confetti going into the Cup of Champions.
Are you cross-pollinating your confetti?
Yeah, dude, I am. This has got Ohio State confetti in here.
Dude.
No.
Yep.
Shut up.
And you're doing this on the
You're
local?
telling me
Yep.
You're telling me there is 2022 Georgia national title confetti?
Negative, sir. There is 2021 national title confetti here. There's 2022 national title confetti in here. There is 2025 national title confetti in here. There's 2024 SEC confetti in here. 2025 SEC confetti here. This
so
is,
a whole
hey,
bunch
look,
of Georgia
hey,
and some Ohio State?
Hush your mouth. Hush your mouth. Understand something about me. I like to be surrounded by champions. That's what I like to be surrounded by. I don't care who they are. I don't care where they come from. I don't care what they about. They're about winning. That's what they're about. They are the champion. They are the top of the top. They're the cream of the crop. They get to be surrounded by me. I like to surround myself with winners. That's why you two are here, okay?
Bro,
this ain't about fandom. This ain't about memorabilia. This is about having championship excellence around me at all time, every time I bring it to the microphone. That's what this is about.
It's still
so y'all can keep your fandoms. Y'all can keep your memorandums. Y'all can keep all that nonsense. This right here is about championship efforts. That's it.
It's unacceptable.
It's confetti.
Sorry.
Man.
I'm cool if you want to throw in all the Georgia confetti into one jar. That's cool with me. But as soon as you start throwing in some Ohio State Buckeye confetti in there with it,
Can't cross-pollinate.
tarnished. Yeah, can't cross-pollinate your confetti.
You want some extra SEC confetti?
I would love some, actually.
Okay.
I didn't get any because I wasn't allowed on the field until the stage was pulled off.
Hey, security be tight up
Yeah,
at that point, at that place.
First time ever, I had someone come up to me and say, "Sir, you have to leave the field now. You have to go back up to the press box."
Oh, dude, they did that to me at Jacksonville. I tried going down.
That place? You can do whatever you want, that place.
Dude, I tried doing the 5 minutes left in the game. You go down on the field. I got a dude put his hand on my chest like, oh. And I was like, what? He's like, you can't be on the field till the teams are off the field. I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, rules, man. I was just like, whatever.
Buckeye Brooks.
Me and Zach Klein were standing up there like looking at each other like, what the hell is going on here?
The confetti video I did this year at the SC, I did the same thing in the Natty last year.
Mm-hmm.
But Homer Brooks. Y'all know what it's about. Y'all think I'm lying to you when I say I'm about good ball. I'm about good ball. And no, we do not have Connor Stallions confetti in there because they a bunch of frauds.
Yeah, it didn't even count.
Consistency.
Asterisk.
You think I would steer away from that take? No. I'm the one who gave the take about that being more cheating than most people. I hate
Where was
the
that
fact
game
that they
even
stole
played?
signs like that. Huh?
Where was that game even played?
Which one?
The Washington-Michigan National Championship.
Was that not the Cotton Bowl?
Maybe.
It does sound like a
No, I think they played that in the Superdome out there.
Who
What?
knows?
It might have been.
Who knows?
It was dark lighting, one of the
Yeah,
other.
it was.
Very dark lighting.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome to Local Hour. Hey, thumbs up. Let's go to work. We got a loaded show for you. You're really torn up about this, huh?
It just gives me weird feelings, man. I get weird vibes now from that jar. I used to look at that jar and was flooded with great memories, and now I look at that jar and all I can think about is you standing under Buckeye confetti and just.
You think that's how I wore it? That's crazy.
Jay, will do that again, please. Do that again.
That's crazy.
Oh, man.
Hey, but if it makes you work harder, I guess I can live with it. What? I was being sincere with that one. I was dogging on you the whole time, and I tried to give you a sincere comment.
Hey, we finally got him to do 6-7 of that.
Oh. Him standing by himself going, ooh, confetti.
Y'all done?
Yeah, let's do
Yeah, I'm
let's
good.
do
Sorry.
let's do show
done?
now.
Yeah.
Okay. Make sure you hit the thumbs up button. Let's talk about something serious, something good. So a good news item here. If you watch Sign a Day Super Mega Cast, we broke the news that Pierce Spurlin would be medically cleared and returning to college football. Now, what I wanted to do was allow him the opportunity to let the world know that it was unfortunately not going to be at Georgia. So there's that. We broke the good news. The bad news is it's not going to be at Georgia. There is I'm going to say it's a reasonable NCAA legislation, in my opinion. If a football medical doctor, medical person has medically retired you, you probably can't play there again. The NCAA says you can't, and it's a liability thing.
Right.
And I understand why, and I know it sucks, and I know that he got medical clearance. And from my understanding, we may have an opportunity to interview Pierce at some point. He's down in Florida. I spoke to him today. He's down in Florida. He's going to start training again. There's going to be heavy interest, I would imagine, around him. But we'll find out more about like how this went down. It was a medical heart-related thing.
Yeah.
Why he was medically retired. There has since been, I think, more additional surgeries and operations that were underwent that allowed this to no longer be an issue.
I
from my understanding.
I remember him talking about having a successful open heart surgery in August.
Yeah.
That might have been like the turning point, or like signed, sealed, delivered. We're good now. But I mean, just massive congratulations to him on that.
6'7" athlete, really, really good runner. Will, like I said, have quite the market, I would imagine, when he officially gets into the portal. For a story like that, for a young man like that, for a story like that, and for a comeback story like that, and a grind like that, hey, Pierce Spurlin, give him 3. Like I said, at some point, I would imagine we might have an opportunity to get him in studio or even on Zoom maybe and have him
Could you imagine
tell
being
his
his,
whole story.
Could you imagine being his parents and watching him play now?
I mean, I would imagine everything's good.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. But
Everything's
like,
good. Don't have to worry
the
about it.
stress of watching your child play football in general
Is enough.
Is
Yeah.
enough. Knowing that your child's someone who's had heart surgery.
Yeah.
Ooh, I do not envy them.
But yeah, you're talking about like people are probably going to be, a lot of people are going to be interested in me as former number 2 tight end in the nation.
Yeah.
The type of
Oh, he's a
guy.
baller.
This was a highly touted recruit.
And a legacy. A guy
Yep.
that like wanted to play at Georgia. It's just, it's not going
Could
to
he?
happen.
Could he go
Now-
somewhere and then be like, I'm going to transfer back now?
I don't know. I don't know the rules on
'Cause,
that.
I mean, this is Wild West transfer portal stuff.
Now, I will say this. The tweet said 2 years of eligibility is what you said?
Yeah, I think the one I
He told
saw
me
from
3.
either Matt Zenitz or from whoever it was that broke the
Oh.
news,
Might have got misinformation.
it said 2 years of eligibility remaining.
He told me 3 on the phone.
Well, then I'm sure that that's correct.
Yeah. So got a lot football left to play.
And that would make sense because the only year he played was during the Orange Bowl. He had a big reception in the Orange Bowl. Then it was right before the next season.
And I'm pretty sure that was after they passed the rule of
Yeah, he
doesn't
did not
even
appear in
count.
4 games during
Right.
the 23
That doesn't
season.
even count one of the 4. Anyways, tremendous story. Hope to get him onto the show at some point. Should we rank the ops?
Sure.
I like this segment. So here's what we're going to do. we're going to put our fear-mongering hats on right quick, and we're going to rank the future potential opponents based on how much they scare you, how much you would dislike the matchup amongst them. Number 10 for me, JMU. Number 9,
What about 11?
Tulane. I'll get there. Don't you worry about
All
that.
right.
Number 9, Tulane. Number 8, Alabama.
Wow, that low.
Buddy, y'all beat them so damn bad and so physically that I just don't know how they – and manned them up. It wasn't even like you confused them. You just strapped them on 3rd and long. And guess what? They're going to get in a lot of 3rd and longs if you happen to see them so again. So, yeah, I think this specific matchup, bad for them. Bad for them. Number 7, Ole Miss. Number 6, Miami. Number 5, Texas A&M. Number 4, Oklahoma. Because I think that defense could take your butt into deep water.
Yeah, that could be a 10-7 type game.
Uh-huh. I think that would be just like, by the way, Tech did it to you. Yeah, one bad day, and that's a good defense. They could easily make you have a bad day. Number 3, Oregon. Number 2, Texas Tech. 1B, Indiana. 1A, Ohio State.
I kind of
That's how I rank the
You have
ops.
Texas Tech that high?
I do. I think Texas Tech's a very, very well-rounded football team. I also think your 12 personnel, big-body style football, that ain't going to scare them. They play 4-3 base. They live in it.
yeah.
I mean, that's fine, but I don't know. It's all fine and
There's-
dandy.
You think that shit's sweet, huh, Jonathan?
I don't know if I'd say that.
You sure we're talking like it.
Hey, all I'm saying is I remember a point in time where a Big 12 team matched up against Georgia in the playoff. And that's not the same as TCU. I know these two teams are not the same, but I'm just saying there are levels to this. We talk like that all the time. We do. That's how we speak about this. We just sat here in the National Hour and talked about how Texas Tech, this is going to be the toughest stretch of games that you've ever had to go endure and play. And the match, I think the only way that Georgia and Texas Tech match up against one another is in the national title game. Like, that's going to be the 3rd game that they have to play in a row against one of these teams, and it's going to be Georgia. I would favor that.
What was that face for?
Well, I was just very curious, like, what the hell happened. We went over almost, like, well over 1,000 watchers, and now we're back down to, like, 870 on YouTube. I don't know what the hell happened there.
Wow.
Anyways,
But no,
I was
it
confused.
is
What did we
kind
do? What take may have people leaving?
I don't know.
Make sure you hit that thumbs
The
up button.
confetti one, maybe. But no, it is an interesting topic to think about that a Big 12 team, all respect to Texas Tech, is going to go in and just kind of lean on Georgia and out-physical them and push them around and not let them run the football.
Y'all didn't watch that Ohio State team. Y'all didn't see that Ohio State team up close and personal. Y'all didn't understand the excellence. Yeah, I wanted a rub of it. I wanted a piece of it. It's in the jar.
Dude, I said if that makes your heart happy, I'll live with it. I'm just saying, for me personally.
Whatever, dude.
Okay.
Would you think you would have felt that way if you went to the Michigan game last year?
What?
We already addressed the Michigan take. They're frauds.
All right.
No,
I'll give you my rankings.
The Ohio State-Michigan game last year where they got their butt handed to them.
No, I actually gave a really, really stern take about that Ryan Day video of him standing by the wayside watching his players act like a fool.
I remember that.
Gave a really, really strong take there.
Here are my rankings. I got JMU at 11. Tulane at number 10. I got Miami at 9. You're telling me that there's an offense that Georgia could face where they could just shut down the run potentially? That they, like, one of those. And let's not forget that this is a quarterback that they were with for 4 years. I mean, they know the ins and outs of this kid. A man, I should say. Carson Beck is a veteran of college football at this point, not a kid. But this is a guy that spent a lot of time at Georgia. So if there's anybody that could pick apart the weaknesses and know exactly how to get after him, what's up?
I don't know what the hell's going on with YouTube tonight. Anyways, go.
I'm not looking at the numbers.
Okay.
I'm looking at the comments.
Anyways, so I think that Georgia would – I think they do well against the matchup against Miami. So I got them at number 9. I got Texas Tech at number 8. I got Alabama at number 7. Ole Miss at number 6. Oregon at number 5. Oklahoma number 4. Texas A&M number 3. The reason why I have Texas A&M as the highest SEC team that Georgia could face is because, man, they do a really good job of finding guys room after the catch. Like, they do a really good job of that, of finding space, and their guys are very explosive. And typically when there are issues for a Georgia defense, a Kirby Smart defense, it's wide receivers that can do those types of things and offenses that really exploit that. but you'd add in a turnover-prone Marcel Reed at times as well. That kind of fixes it. But, again, that's kind of where that one's based in. Number 2, Indiana, and then number 1, Ohio State. I think Ohio State, just because of how balanced they are, their defense and their offense, I think that they probably match up the best with Georgia, in my opinion. So that's why I have them at the top.
Yeah, you and I have basically the same notes for the bottom 3, JMU, Tulane, Miami. Again, if Miami's not going to be able to run the football, we've seen Carson Beck get heated up before. I have confidence that the Georgia defensive backs can man up against Miami's wide receivers, and Carson Beck is going to throw some turnovers in that situation. I have Oklahoma at 8 because I feel like Oklahoma is a carbon copy of Georgia where it's a very, very good defense that confuses you. The only problem is Oklahoma's offense is not very good, and they have a turnover-prone quarterback. So in a matchup like that, I think that favors Georgia because, yeah, Oklahoma might shut down Georgia's offense. Oklahoma might make some things difficult. But Georgia's going to take care of the football at a much better rate than Oklahoma will, in my opinion. Number 7, I have Alabama. I think there's still a little bit of reason to kind of be worried about them, especially in a third-round matchup. But like we saw, you beat the hell out of them in the SEC Championship. That team does not match up with you physically at this point, especially at this point in the season. Number 6, I have Ole Miss. That offense scored a lot of points against you. And I know that so many things have changed. I know that so many things. But the unknown is kind of scary about that. Do they get better without Lane Kiffin? Do they become more unified? Are they more fired up to face you? They have the opportunity to have rematches. Those are all things that kind of make you go, I don't know. Not worries, not red flags, but things that kind of make you just wonder. So that's why I have them at 6.
Go
ahead.
You don't feel way more confident after watching Georgia's DBs play the man-to-man coverage that they did last week?
Yeah, definitely. But at the same point, there are still some factors.
I mean, to your credit, you didn't rank them 2.
No, I mean, they're
middle of the pack.
They're in the middle of the pack there. Number 5, I have Oregon. I think that Oregon's another one of these unknown teams, but you also have a mentality and a model that's based on very physical football. That can always cause issues for Georgia. No one does physicality better. However, you would rather go up against a high-flying team than a physical. And number 4, I have Texas Tech. I don't love them at this number, but they look like you said, one of the more balanced teams. They are kind of built to go against the Georgia system. That said, I firmly believe that if these two teams faced off, Georgia would have the opportunity and the advantage physically here. Number 2, Indiana, for all the reasons we said. And number 1, I have Ohio State, simply because of where they lie on the bracket. You're much more likely to cross paths with Ohio State in this bracket than you are Indiana at this point. Indiana has to win a lot of games. You have to win a lot. I don't think they match up until
it'd be the national title.
So I would say Ohio State's a team you need to worry about more in that instance.
One thing I will say about you is you always take a very fresh stance on every takes that we have. You know what I mean?
Oh, thanks.
We just said Ohio State won because Ohio State's really, really good. It's good analysis. It's really good analysis.
Yeah.
It's probably going to be right. It's going to be a really right analysis. You spun it a different way.
Yeah, I mean.
Attaboy.
But that said, I think Georgia should feel pretty confident in itself coming into this bracket.
Much
more confident than last year.
All right. Y'all ready?
Ooh.
You know what we should do?
What should we do?
Read that sleeper read. I'm getting tired of getting this long into shows and not showing love to our friends like Sleeper. I am sleeping on Sleeper. How about that? Can't be doing that. Can't be doing that at all. Shout out to our friends right here. Shout out to our friends right here, Sleeper. Tell them why, Kirby.
Why? Dude, it is a fantasy sports real money gaming app that is focused on bringing people together through those exact two things. It has become the fastest organically growing platform in the entire world with over 6 million users. That was numbers of 3 years ago. We've only gone up since then.
Need new numeros.
Yeah, exactly. Send us a new updated sheet, Sleeper, please. While earning some of the highest levels of engagement per the industry, it's not just about sports at Sleeper. It's about building personal connections and lasting memories. If you head over there today and use promo code Brooks, you will get a 100% deposit match up to $100. It means you put $100 in, you get $100 back. One of the best deals we've seen. They are operational in 25 states, including the great state of Georgia. So head over to Sleeper today and use promo code Brooks.
Promo code Brooks, 100% deposit match. Make sure you are supporting those who support us. Make sure. Got to make sure. Thank you guys for all the support. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button. We got a lot left on tonight's show sheet, like season awards. The regular season and conference bowl season hath concluded.
Yep.
It's time to go win a
Gone
national
like
title.
that?
It's gone like that.
Oh,
It's time to go win 3 games in a row. It's time to wait until January 31st to play, and it's time to go win a national title. That's what it's time for. But in the meantime, let's hand out some awards. Here we go. Here are the awards we're going to give out tonight. The Silent Assassin. We'll describe it in a minute. I'll let Jay Will describe it. And please describe it in full-fledged, not just give me the name like you did to me pre-show.
Okay, I got you.
Most underrated. Speaks for itself. Most improved. Play of the year. Coach of the year. Newcomer of the year. Defensive player of the year, or as we call it, DPOY. And, of course, OPOY. Offensive player of the year and MVP. Most valuable player.
All right.
We'll start with the Silent Assassin. Jonathan, explain it to them like they're 5.
So I actually thought about this award while we were watching offensive film today.
Woo!
And the best way I could
We
describe.
had a film study today?
We sure did. Offensive film study breakdown of Georgia in the SEC title game. You should definitely go watch that.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely should go watch that.
After the live show, of course.
After the live show, that should just be loaded up over there on the sidebar. You should be clicking on that as soon as we hit.
Get your other computer and watch it right now. And then watch it after the show.
As that last play is broken down and I say, thank you, love you, hit that thumbs up button on your way out. You hit that thumbs up button and you crash right out and go to sleep.
There you go.
Just like that. That's the plans for tonight.
But Silent Assassin can best be described as if a player is scouting Georgia and they're kind of looking at the players that they're going to go up against, who might they kind of just skip over and be like, okay, probably don't need to worry about that guy too much. Don't need a deep dive on him. And then Saturday rolls around and that guy punches you in the mouth multiple times. You're like, God dang, that person killed us today. I wasn't ready for that. So my nominee for this award, no one other than London Humphreys. You look at the stat sheet, it's like, he's averaging like 1 or 2 receptions per game. He might have 30 yards today, whatever. Like, probably don't need to worry about 16 too much. Then you go and turn on that Alabama film, and London Humphreys is punching Alabama defenders in the mouth every single chance that he gets, helping Nate Frazier score touchdowns. And I bet after the game, those Alabama DBs were like, dude, number 16 wore us out today.
I got 2 nominees, both because they murder people and both because they don't say a lot. I think the first one is Ernest Green. Ernest Green has flashed a ton lately. Ernest Green doesn't do anything but smile. He doesn't talk. There is no talking. You will never see Ernest Green face mask to face mask with a defensive lineman that wants to talk some shit post-snap. Nope. Right on to the next one. We'll see you in a whistle. That's that. The other one, Micah Morris. I think Micah Morris has said a total of 15 words, and I think he's been in front of the media 7 times.
Yeah. That's why they put him in front.
You're right. So those are mine. I
Okay.
think I'm going to
Those are 2
settle
really
with
good.
Ernest, though. The tape's been flashy.
Yeah, I agree with that. He's been really good this year.
Micah just kind of swallows people
On the football field.
on the football field.
That's right.
Swallows humans, grown men.
I love my answer, and I love the reaction that it's going to get because I know that there will be a visceral reaction.
Boy.
When you think of someone that you would not account for in the game plan, someone that you don't really worry about, someone that is not talked about on the scouting report, someone that is a complete afterthought, yet you walk away from it and you can point to, man, that guy was a difference maker for that team that beat us today. The answer, and there is only one correct answer in my opinion, is Peyton Woodring. Yeah, there it is. And that reason right there is the perfect epitome as to why he is the silent assassin. He is one of the most accurate kickers in college football. He has been perfect basically all but once this season, has not missed an extra point, has not missed a PAT. It is one of the most underrated weapons to have. Ask Tennessee if they would like to have a kicker like Peyton Woodring. Ask Alabama if they would like to have a kicker like Peyton Woodring.
Ohio State, Notre Dame.
Exactly. Yep. He is my
Holder
silent assassin.
Kicker too, dude. They've had multiple games this year where they missed 3 PATs.
Did you see the tweet where Alabama fans they posted a picture of Tyler Buckner in an Alabama uniform? It was like, this guy's responsible for us getting in the playoffs this year. It's like, dang. They got a secret op over there
That's
for
crazy.
him. He knew. Tyler Buckner knew. He's like, I got you, boys. Don't worry. I'm going to take care of this in September.
I told my wife this when I stole her from Relax, bro. Can't trust those guys. You just can't.
All right, moving on. We got most underrated
Dude
player
didn't have a
of the
chance, by the
season.
way.
No.
No chance. It was smooth sailing.
Good for you.
None.
Attaboy.
10 years later, I'm still standing on 10 on that one. That guy can eat me.
Hey, you got every right to talk your stuff about that.
You want him to do that?
Most underrated player on Georgia's roster. I think that obviously there's multiple options, but there was one player that when I wrote this down on the show sheet, there was one player that really popped into my mind. And I think that almost because I myself had moments this year where I was like, man, where's this guy at? Because I felt like we were really talking about him coming into this season. Feel like we're not saying his name a lot, but almost every single time I do that, we come into film study on Monday and we're breaking down Georgia's defense, and this guy's popping up, and it's like, man, what a great play by him. Man, what a great play by him. Like, always in the right spot. It's Xavier McLeod. That guy has been playing sound, good football for Georgia all year.
Probably the heaviest hand shock on the defensive line. He punches the shit out of people.
Mm-hmm.
It hurts. Long arms, too. He's lost a lot of weight since high school. I thought that was going to be a zero tech guy. He plays, obviously, some zero in this system.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But, I mean, he'll get out of a 3 technique rush passer, too.
Mm-hmm.
He's just been one of those guys, like, hasn't been on the injury report, like, haven't really had to talk about him.
Good God, man. You out here saying guys haven't missed all year. You out here talking about injury reports, ain't been on it. Good Lord, guys. Can we get some wood knocking? Knock on wood if you're with me, man.
How about
Sorry, Mr. McLeod. I wish no ill will upon you.
Call McLeod for old time's sake.
No, God. Jeez, that might be the worst one in history of name
It's
enunciation.
spelt like McLeod.
I know, but
How is that the worst one?
McLeod isn't a word.
who have you ever come
It's not
across
spelled like
in
that.
your
It doesn't
lifetime
exist.
Where someone said, "No, it's not McLeod. It's McLeod." Never.
Forgive me for being phonetically sound.
You're just phonetically fundamental.
Phonetically fundamental. This guy.
Phonetically fundamental.
This guy. Sound it out. Sound it out.
It makes the E sound.
McLeod.
But yeah, Xavier McLeod. That's my nomination for a most underrated.
I went a kind of different route. I went with Josh McCray on this. And for the reason of Josh McCray has handed you some of the biggest moments this season and some absolutely clutch moments, and has basically fallen forward every time he's gotten touched. Like, if Josh McCray is carrying the football, you're getting 2 yards no matter what. And I don't think that he gets talked about name the top 3 or 4 best running backs on this team. Josh McCray, in my opinion, is severely underrated.
He's definitely an underrated addition for Georgia in the portal this offseason because not only has he provided you a go-to guy in those goal line situations and short yardage situations, but he's also turned into a guy when he runs out on the field, everybody's like, hey, number 2's on the field. We know what's about to happen. Like, we know what they're trying to do. He's provided you ways to build off of him, like even him not being involved.
I would argue that there is – bless you.
Bless you.
That's how you sneeze on camera.
It looked like it hurt.
No, that's how you be professional.
Okay.
While you're on your phone, taking selfies.
Taking selfies.
Tough time to say being professional while he goes.
'Twas the joke, dude. Come on.
Anyways,
Good God. Let it ride.
I don't think that there is a player on this roster right now who has a more specific role and does it better than Josh McCray, and that is be a short yardage back. Josh McCray is the best short yardage back Georgia's had in years.
Now, my take sounds a little bit different because we watched how good Rayshon Dinkins played this weekend.
Right.
But, man, Jonell Aguero has been a silent assassin.
Oh,
all year.
man,
He's been
yeah.
most improved, too. Like, this is a guy we went into the season worried about, and he has been nothing but a solid.
And this is how I know he's underrated because you're locked in on whatever, like on your show on Sunday, so I know you're not really scrolling through chat a whole lot. But I was, and it was on my ride over here, and you were talking about, I think, Jonell Aguero. And this is how I know he's underrated is someone continues to say, like, yeah, but he's a liability in coverage. It's like, this is how I know that
He hasn't
nobody
got
is
beat all year.
Has
No
not
one's
been a
attacked
problem
him.
at all.
Oh, you're just recycling takes from a season ago.
That's how
Yeah.
quiet he has been is people just go back to what they know about him, and that's what people know about Jonell Aguero. But that has not been the case at all for him this year. It's just been he's playing really good football.
His eyes have gotten so much better.
Still physical in the run game, too.
Yeah, I think that's a great nominee right there. Play of the year.
I went most improved next, but, yeah, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, most improved.
Most improved.
Most improved.
I'll go first. The entire offensive line.
Oh, that's a good
It's
one.
a great one.
It's the same right tackle in Ernest. He was playing left last year. Monroe played a good bit last year. All right. But they had 3 NFL football players and a fourth guy who'd played 42 games in the SEC and Xavier Truss.
Yeah.
Right? They had Dylan Fairchild, Ernest Green, and Jarrell Wilson all starting right now in the NFL, and they finished in the hundreds in rushing.
Yeah.
I don't think they're – now, they will be. Like, Donnie Glover is an NFL football player. Juan Gaston is an NFL football player. But collectively right now, they are not as talented as they were a year ago, but they are better than they were a year ago as a whole unit. And that, to me, is because of Stacey Searles. It's because of John Lilly. It's because of the Rauscher guy. It's because of everybody. It's because Warren Erickson's back on the staff. It's because of the 4 or 5 offensive line coaches they have. That has been the most improved unit. I do have football players that I will put up for nominee as well, like Dylan Bell. Again, has he had a drop this year?
Yes.
Yeah, I think one.
He had a
or two.
drop on an out route early in the season.
And this is a guy
Hit
who
him
led
in
the
the
team
chest.
in drops last year.
Mm-hmm.
He's been back to what he's supposed to be, a guy that 4 or 5 games out of the year, the defensive coordinator looks up at the end of the game and goes, damn, 86 killed us.
Yep.
86
Like this
is
past
the,
Saturday.
86 is the reason we really lost the game. Like, we knew going into it, Zachariah Branch was going to be a problem. We knew going into it they were going to run the football. What we didn't know was that 86 was going to have 75 yards of total offense, and that was going to be the difference.
Mm-hmm. He's been that multiple times this year.
And that's what he was in 23.
Yeah.
Last year he was not that. Last year he was, we need you to be this every game, and he can't be that.
No. My most improved player goes to your most underrated player of Jonel Aguero. Just based off of the things that we talked about for him going into the season, like where we needed him to improve. Like you want to talk about he needed to improve in coverage, he needed to improve in eye discipline, all of those things. And he did exactly that and probably exceeded any of the expectations of like, this is what we expect Jonel Aguero to be at his best. Might have exceeded those. And he's just been a great player for Georgia, all around impactful player. Most improved goes to him, in my opinion.
I feel kind of weird putting this player on this list because it makes it seem like they weren't good before. They played bad last year. But I feel like they really cranked it up to another notch in 2025, and that's Raylan Wilson. I feel like Raylan Wilson has diagnosed plays a half a second quicker. He's been half a second faster, and he's been like twice as physical as he has been before. And he was a really, really good linebacker for Georgia beforehand. But he has taken it up to another notch. And it goes back to that year 3 in Schumann theory where you just become for whatever reason, a really, really good linebacker by year 3.
Yeah, and Chad's bringing up another great one that nobody mentioned of Ellis Robinson. Very easily needs to be mentioned in this conversation as well. I mean, I think that's what we talked a lot about yesterday. If that guy is playing what he was ranked as coming out of high school, like that's what you expected of Ellis Robinson when he committed to Georgia. That's a player that you expect to just throw out there on defense and be like, we don't even have to worry about number 1 today. And that's what he's been the last 6 games, I would say.
Has there been a 5-star corner to ever come to Georgia and not work?
Oh, I'm sure there has.
Since Kirby's been here? The only one I can think of, the only one, Jaheim Singletary. And I don't know if he was a 5-star.
I feel like, was Daniel
But-
Harris one?
No. Maybe in one service.
Yeah,
Maybe,
that's the thing
but
you get into.
I would argue Daniel Harris has worked. It got beat out.
Nyland Green.
Nyland Green.
Nyland Green. AJ Harris, but he transferred out for playing time.
Yeah, dude. That dude's going to be an NFL player.
Yeah.
He just didn't play here.
he
Daniel Harris going
played
to be an
here-
NFL player. Didn't play here.
Yeah.
Amir Speed, NFL player. Didn't play here.
I would say Julian Humphrey. You can
Julian
put-
Humphrey? Okay.
Yeah.
That's been a bust all around.
He was a
He's
4-star.
not even playing.
He's
for
not
A&M.
playing at A&M, and they play a lot of corners.
Julian Humphrey was a 4-star too. So
Okay, so occasionally. But ain't a lot of them.
Right.
You highly recruited coming in here. You damn good football. Tyreek Stevenson did not work out. Tyreek Stevenson was a top of the
Tyreek
second round
Stevenson
pick.
would have started.
There hasn't been one that's gotten here and it was like, ooh,
They missed,
that's not good.
except for like in Nyland. Nyland's been it.
Yeah.
Nyland's been the only player.
But
that
even
came
he
here and
was
like,
impactful on special teams.
Yeah,
Like
and
you
even-
found a role for him.
I felt like that should have been a safety, but that's me. All right, I just thought of that just mentally. All right, moving on to player of the year. I know this is your segment, Jonathan. I'll give my nominee later, but I did this a little differently. I went individual plays that I have thought are either spectacular from an individual player standpoint, or they have really like the play schematic itself has changed what you do offensively.
Okay. I like that.
Okay. Last year, you had a bad 12 attached tendency with duo. Notre Dame killed you with this. Okay. They teed off on duo in that football game. You have changed that now and iced football games with a new play, new to you, duo bounce. You're selling duo and then you're bouncing outside. You closed the game off against Tennessee in overtime with this play. You closed the game off against Auburn with this play. When you got a turnover off a block punt Saturday, you went right to this play and ripped them for 12 yards and then got in a situation where you could do the Rod Rob play. That duo bounce play has been really, really important for this football team. Monroe Freeling on any screen into the boundary. It's been really, really fun to watch. Since he's been the starter, even last year, like his first time playing was against Tennessee and he was healthy. He looked incredible in the screen game in that football game. He's 6'7", he's 330 pounds, and he moves really, really well. It's really fun to watch for a guy who watches much film as I do. The individual play from Dalen Everett and KJ Bolden on the interception this weekend was insane. Both of those football players are running full speed to their left. The ball's thrown to their right, both of them individually. It's thrown to Dalen Everett, but KJ tips it, and now all of a sudden, running full speed, I got to snatch around and do this, and that ball's not spinning like a spiral anymore. I got to now catch the tips of it. He catches both tips like this after pirouetting sideways. It's incredible. It's one of the most athletic catches from a DB I've seen in a long time. That was an insane football play. Another one that makes my list is from a schematic standpoint. It is the Mike Bobo haters nail in the coffin. It's the fake swing screen to Cash Jones tunnel back with Zachariah Branch that they have been setting up for 2 years. They've been setting that up for 2 years, waiting for the moment to break someone's face with it.
Let them know.
That's exactly what they did.
Let them know. Thank you for bringing that up.
So there you go. Oh, but the actual play is 4th and 6, Tennessee.
Oh, man.
That is a game changer.
London Humphreys. And then the subsequent play after that for the 2-point conversion that everyone forgets about.
Yeah, no.
The whip return to Zach Branch against cover
the
zero.
Sequencing of that.
Great play call.
My play of the year is the Auburn punch out at the goal line to keep Auburn from going up.
Most controversial, too.
Yeah, you can say what you want, but I think that especially like the more and more you learn about that play, like knowing that Kirby Smart and that staff told Raylan and CJ punch that ball out, they both punch it out, they both play a role in that ball coming loose, and then Georgia ultimately recovering it, them turning that into points, and it completely changed the game. But I think like, and that's one thing I feel like you can always bank on Georgia having every single season. Like last year, it was Dan Jackson punching the ball out, or hitting the ball out, I should say, against Haynes King versus Georgia Tech when they're about to convert a 3rd and short yardage situation. Instead, it's a fumble. Georgia gets the ball back, scores, and that game's going into overtime. Like Georgia always has one of those plays, and when it's in a moment where it's like, they're about to get the final blow, this is where Georgia's about to be like finally cut down in this game. And then Georgia's defense finds a way to respond, and then everything just piles on top of that. Like that play, man, you want to talk about big moments.
So when I saw this award, I figured, and I thought to myself, the play of the year is something that if you just change the course of that one play, this season looks completely different. And in my opinion, it is the 4th down conversion against Ole Miss for Josh McCray. Because that was one of the greatest single efforts I've seen. I mean, he is stopped at the line of scrimmage.
Down 9 in your own end.
Yeah, and somehow finds a way to get a first down there. And if you don't get that first down, you're not keeping that Ole Miss offense out of the end zone.
You hadn't had a stop in that football game.
You had not.
No.
You had not had a stop in that football game. You're not keeping Ole Miss out of the end zone. They are likely going up by 16 or 17 points. You will probably lose that game, and then everyone knows how much controversy comes around.
Chad brought up a huge one in that football game. The 3rd down vertical ball down the sideline to Dylan Bell in that football game was
massive game as well. But you also had an 8-point lead in that game. Like if you did not get that 4th down conversion, the game was essentially going to be over there. And you lose 2 in Athens, and you squander a really good performance by Gunnar Stockton and all that. Like the attitude around this season would have changed if that play is different.
Definitely have to bring up the Texas onside kick just for the moment, the decision.
Yeah.
Like that moment right there was – I felt like obviously Georgia had been playing good ball up to that point, but that was one of those games and certainly one of those moments of this Georgia team looks to be turning a page here. They look to be playing really like at their highest level that they could possibly reach.
What do we have next?
We have Coach of the Year now. Coach of the Year.
I'll let y'all select Mike Bobo. I think there's 2 options, Mike Bobo or Stacey Searles.
I went Stacey Searles.
I think it's Stacey Searles.
That was because considering, like, and depending on who you are, I didn't have questions about Mike Bobo going into this year because I had belief in Mike Bobo. So I'll leave it at that. But considering the offensive line was one of the biggest questions because you just lost a whole lot of talent. You weren't really sure what the starting rotation was going to look like. It sounded like Juan Gasson was going to be good. Didn't really know if Donnie Glover was going to be inserted. Then what do you know? That guy becomes a full-time starter for you. Like, those things happen, and they play like such a cohesive unit, and then Ernest Green gets healthy, and they only get better. That offensive line has been the key to all of this success on the offensive side of the ball. So Stacey Searles did a tremendous job coaching up these freshmen, getting them ready to play in the big stages and having them prepared.
Recruiting those freshmen.
Yeah, loading up the room in general.
God.
I mean, you went from offensive line, don't know if they have a whole lot of depth this year, and they really don't. But, I mean, heck, even Malachi Tolliver goes in the SC championship game, a redshirt freshman, and he plays winning football for you.
Another Stacey take.
It's just things like that. Like Stacey Searles, man, coached his butt off all year.
This guy, this coach's team, or this coach's room, I think is fair to say, underperformed drastically last season. And he got blamed for it. He was the source of this guy needs to be fired. Look at how this unit is performing.
He was really bad as an OC. That's why he's bad right now.
He gets a little bit of the Mike Bobo shake.
Go ahead.
James Coley, and if you want to, tear down James Coley for leading the nation in drops last year and all the inconsistencies, you have to give him credit for the turnaround that this room has had. They are more explosive. They are more consistent. They block better. They are better. They are better at catching the football in the air. They are better at everything they were not good at last year. That is a credit to James Coley. If you want to take the insults and jabs in for what last year was, it's been a 180. James Coley deserves credit for that.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Trying to think of some other coaches that deserve shouts. The whole defensive staff for the improvement mid-season, right? I think Dante deserves a good
Dante
shout
gets
here.
a nod for sure.
Dante gets a nod and a shout-out here. I mean, the corner play has dramatically improved. And I do want to call back to something Kirby said during the SEC Championship game post-game press conference. He was asked when he thought this defense was going to grow and when he saw that this was what it's going to be. He basically said, like, throughout the whole entire process, even when they were having, quote-unquote, bad games against great offenses, he trusted the coaching. And basically the messaging of the coaching was, guys, if we just continue to do what we're doing and just get better at it, we're going to be okay. And that's what they've done. They've just continued to build and get better with young football players at that defensive back spot. And they really didn't have all that far to go because one of them's been a strippity strap all year, and that's Dalen. Dalen's played great football for 24 months.
Mm-hmm.
So there's been that.
We would be so rich if we could actually have football stock because we were all buying that in 2023.
Yeah.
And look where it is now.
There was a moment in 2023 where members of his camp reached out and were like, thank you. Thank you for at least, like, going to, like, at least explain what's going on here because – my guy's getting crushed out here, and people don't know what the hell they're talking about.
Yep.
I do appreciate that about this place.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it's also dangerous about this place because I have to go through extensive links to make sure I'm as right as I can humanly be when we go to place blame on things like that when it comes to film and execution.
I'm sure a lot of people are glad that actual football stock doesn't exist because, boy, we'd be one rich show when Dominic Kelly gets onto this lineup. Boy, oh, boy.
Oh, baby.
People would be losing a whole lot of money on that one.
The Genty stock would have bought a lake house. The Dominic Kelly stock going to put us on top. You know what I mean? We're going to be in the mountains in Utah, Salt Lake City.
Penthouse in Dubai.
At Christmas, baby. We're going to be on the slopes skiing out resort. Our house that we rent out off that Dom Kelly stock, Bubba.
I would have parlayed Mateer, Genty, and Mendoza. All three last season.
Wouldn't even hit a lick compared to this Dom Kelly
that
stock.
That put us on the map. This one would have put us atop the charts. All right. Just putting that out.
Dom Kelly 2026 going to feed families. Going to feed generations of families around here. We got all the stock.
All right, newcomer of the year. This could be transfer player, true freshman, however you want to call it.
Easy answer.
Go ahead.
It's Zachariah Branch. Or as we call him around here, ladies and gentlemen, Zachariah Branch.
Yeah, that's a pretty straightforward answer there. I mean, Jay Will said it earlier. Like, the impact that this guy has had on your offense has been unlike, honestly, any other transfer I think Georgia's ever had, at least on the offensive side of the football.
Ooh, I forgot somebody. Player of not necessarily comeback player of the year, but most improved. Colby Young, prior to his injury,
that
was
dude
a
was
totally different
light
football
it
player.
up this year.
Totally different football player.
Oh, my gosh.
Sorry, I had to call that
he
back.
needed to be talked about.
He needed to be talked about. Because, man, what a guy.
That dude was doing so much for that offense before his injury.
Newcomer, who you got?
Newcomer of the year, I had a 50-50 shot or a 50-50 choice here between Juan Gaston and Dontrell Glover. I ultimately went with Dontrell Glover just because I think Juan Gaston, through no fault of his own, has had a couple of more, this guy's young mistakes. Donnie Glover has been, and also Juan Gaston, I think coming into the season was kind of, hey, if there's a young guy that's going to get some playing time this year, it's him. So obviously he's been fantastic, but I don't think we were as, I don't want to say surprised, but we were kind of expecting that. Donnie Glover came onto the scene and was like, yo, this is another true freshman that's also playing very well. Oh, my God. Georgia has 2 of these on their offensive line. I think Donnie Glover is the newcomer of the year, in my opinion.
I like that. Solid take. Everybody knew. Everybody knew about Juan.
Yeah.
I mean, from day one, got on campus, I started hearing names like Andrew Thomas. Like they knew early. And they tried to keep it quiet. Now they're gonna have to probably give him a nice pay raise.
I'm going to give this player a shout-out here because there's some other names that I want to talk about later. But I think this guy is definitely deserving of a Newcomer of the Year nominee of Elias Williams. The fact – because, I think going into this year, you kind of look at the tight end room, and it's Oscar Delp, it's Lawson Lucky, you got Jaden Riddell behind them. Ethan Barbour is the guy being talked about in the freshman of this guy's going to play early, and he was. That guy was an impact player early on until his injury. And then Elias Williams starts popping up. And when he starts getting 50-50 balls thrown at him, he starts being a playmaker, a guy after the catch. He's improved in his blocking. That guy has been really impactful for this offense.
It's a real question as to how much of his role really got created because of Ethan's injury.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, they do play a lot of tight ends at Georgia. They do. But, guys, Riddell's still getting burned. Mm-hmm. Okay, Ethan Barbour would have been getting burned, and Elias would have been getting burned. So I think it's a total – and he got vaulted into that situation a whole lot earlier.
Yep.
Because that injury to Ethan happened week 2.
Yeah.
It
was week 2.
Yeah, it was Austin P.
It was Marshall, right?
Austin P. right before halftime.
So it happened a lot earlier for that football player than it was probably set to do.
I said Josh McCray is the best player on this team at having a role and doing it well. I think Elias Williams is second best on that and being the, hey, we need you to be an absolute nightmare matchup and just catch a 50-50 ball every now and then when we need an explosive.
Oh, God. I mean, his roles got doubled twice because of injury, right? Ethan and Colby. What you're talking about, that role got created because Colby's not there anymore.
And we still need time for CJ a little bit.
Yeah.
Elias, let's see what you
it's
got,
not
baby.
Like I love Yachariah to death. We're not a 50-50 guy.
No.
Nope.
Come back, work back to the football, put it on your belly guy.
And still allowing Dylan Bell to be what we want him to be and what he's designed to be. Having him available and ready to go, so impactful for them.
Any other nominees for Newcomer of the Year? Elijah Griffin, maybe.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know,
played so many snaps.
Joshua Horton's played a lot.
Yeah, that's a good nominee right there.
That's really it. Dink's going to play a major role moving forward.
Oh, boy.
It looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Redshirt freshmen don't count, or else Ellis and DeMello would be here.
Correct.
Yeah, right.
As would guys like, Justin Williams played a lot more than those.
There's a lot of guys
freshmen
making their
players.
first.
Zayden Walker kind of got into this conversation.
Good shout. It's hard to play as a freshman at Georgia.
Extremely.
Very few.
Chad's talking about Talon Taylor would have been in this conversation had he not gotten injured, for sure. That guy would have been in this conversation.
Still opportunity for him to earn that, though.
Oh, yeah.
Defensive Player of the Year. Depoy.
I feel like there's
I got 3 nominees.
There's an obvious
There's
answer.
one obvious answer.
One obvious answer.
That has to be the answer.
I'll go ahead and
It's
get it
C.J.
out of the way.
Allen.
Yeah, C.J. Allen has been everything that you've ever wanted in a Georgia Bulldogs linebacker, everything that's hyped up to be. And to think that there were people week 2 into the season saying, man, number 3, I've been disappointed in him. I haven't seen enough from him. Is ludicrous because I would say he's put on one of the more impressive seasons as a Georgia linebacker. And Georgia's had 3 Butkus Award winners the last 10 years.
Clearing 100 tackles, assuming that they beat Ole Miss or Tulane.
Mm-hmm.
He's got 85 right now. He'll be the first to do so since
I think it was Roquan.
I think maybe
Roquan-
Monty didn't do it.
Roquan did it.
First time 100 tackles since Roquan.
Roquan did it in 2017 with like 130 something.
Yeah, it blew it out of the water. I'm going to go ahead and give this player the shout out. He's number 2 answer for this one is Kristen Miller. I feel like I always have a special attachment for players like Kristen Miller because That guy is so important to this defense, and he's been playing so good. And maybe it's because I feel like he doesn't get the attention that he deserves from national media members, not from Georgia fans. I think Georgia fans are very well aware of how impactful 52 has been this year. But when NFL draft talk starts up, and it's already starting up right now, and I don't see Christian Miller mentioned amongst defensive linemen, it bothers me because I've watched it the entire year, and I watch it on Mondays with Brooks every single time we turn the film on of just how good that guy is, how much he means to this defense, and how much he changes everything for them. That guy has been playing his butt off. So I have loved everything about Christian Miller this year. He certainly deserves to be nominated for this.
That'll be a young man that the moment his Georgia career ends, he'll be right inside this studio on a microphone. It's probably the last player I'll have a relationship like that with. Just the way that this thing has gone, the more responsibilities and things that we have to do.
Right.
I don't get to immerse myself in high school recruiting as I once did.
Yeah.
It's just the reality. And that's probably the last football player that I'll go through extensive links to to build a relationship with. Now, that has far more to do with him as an individual human. He is a very special human. He is in a group of Jordan Davis, for me, from a light to this world, joy of a human to be around. And if you've ever met him, you know, all right? And that's just the way that he is. And I'm with you. He deserves to be in this discussion for a Defensive Player of the Year role on this defense. I don't know of a single time on tape this year where I'm like, damn, 52 just got beat. It doesn't happen.
Nope.
He wins. He wins at a really, really high rate. And I know there was that one moment where he flirted with the portal. And I think if he could have anything to do over with his career, that's probably it. That he never that it never comes out.
Yeah.
That's never even threatened. It's never even a thought. Because other than that, damn good dog the whole entire time.
DGD status for sure.
And then the other guy that we haven't talked about is Dalen. I think he deserves Defensive Player of the Year nominee discussion. I mean, that guy is playing such confident and stress-free football right now.
Stress-free is the best way to put that.
He's so chill. He's just out there chilling, man.
He's played so good this season that when ultimately it happens, when a wide receiver catches a pass on him, you go, oh.
Whoa.
I didn't know.
What happened there?
Whoa.
That's not
Dalen never
supposed to
allowed
happen.
a reception? What? That's the type of football he's playing.
The next time we're in StreamYard, we ought to play Kristen Miller's commitment video because it's still sitting in there from 2022, the 2022
2022, I believe.
Yeah, he's the
it's
2022.
still sitting there. So, of some of our better work. There's that bridge in Atlanta that's very famous for the shot of the Metroplex, basically, of all of the buildings. That bridge over there off one of the extension roads off I-20. We shot his reveal right there. We had to dodge traffic to do so. It was a fun day. It's a fun thing to do. It's the last one I did too. I haven't done a single commitment video since. Probably won't do another one. Maybe one day. My son, which no interest in sports, none. Can't figure it out.
Well,
it's not like I'm forcing it on him.
We'll shoot a commitment video for whatever he wants to do.
Yeah, change the world somehow. I'm sure.
Yeah.
Got it all in front of him. We'll see what he got going on. Offensive Player of the Year.
I'm gonna say this person's name now, and I know I already
Jonathan, we're saving MVP.
I'm already getting a stink eye from Brooks right now because he doesn't agree with me. But I have my opinion, and this isn't to. I have my Offensive Player of the Year as Gunnar Stockton, and MVP is still on the board. So I'm sure a lot of people are going to be like, how's Gunnar Stockton on the MVP? I don't think I have to explain how much appreciation I have for a player like Gunnar Stockton, how refreshing it has been to watch a guy like that play quarterback at the University of Georgia. None of that. So me not putting him as MVP is not me degrading him by any means. That guy has been the motor of this offense. I mean, as he goes, everybody goes. He's been the perfect leader. He's been the perfect quarterback for this team. He's provided so much, done so much, sacrificed so much.
Some would argue he's like the most valuable piece of the offense.
You could definitely make that argument, and I wouldn't have any issues with it at all. I could even make that argument right now with a smile on my face.
I think you just did.
Yeah, I did.
Okay. Now counter your points.
I have Zachariah Branch as the MVP because I think that guy has been the biggest difference maker for this offense because He is what Georgia's receiving room needed. That is absolutely what they needed. They needed somebody that could create explosive plays in crappy situations. Like, no matter what the picture looks like, that guy's picking up positive yards. That guy's going to make a 2nd and 10 into a 3rd and 2. That guy's going to turn a 10-yard reception into a 30-yard reception because of who he is. That guy has been the biggest difference maker for this offense. That's why I put him as most valuable, because without him in this offense, I don't know what it looks like.
That's why he's the offensive player of the year. But the reason that Gunnar Stockton is this team's most valuable player is because the team's entire sole identity is wrapped in number 14's personality. Yeah. The way that he plays football is the reason this team is the team that they are.
Completely
in my opinion, having watched them, having seen the way that the team responds to him, how they respond to the way that he plays football, that's why they are what they are. That's why they're a run the football, stop the run football team. They are 14.
And I completely agree with you. This is maybe more so just me like wanting to say like there is a case for Zachariah Branch to be MVP. Gunnar Stockton's is probably stronger though.
I'll even add some points to your case for Zachariah Branch to be MVP, J. Will. Zachariah Branch has had such a massive and kind of underrated effect on special teams this year. Punters are terrified to punt to him.
Notice that game one, nose down punt in midfield's crazy.
I'm not going to say anything about catching punts because I don't want to have to knock on wood, but you know what the statistics are for that. Zachariah Branch has flipped the field more times than not. He has been an absolute weapon when it comes to special teams this year, on top of everything that he just said for the offense. You very easily could make the argument that he's an MVP, and honestly, I think that it's 50-50 either way. I personally chose Gunnar Stockton because of everything Brooks said.
For sure.
He is the quarterback. This identity that Georgia has right now is based around Gunnar Stockton, is encapsulated with him. That's why he's my MVP, but if it's not Gunnar Stockton, it is Zachariah Branch.
By the way, I think Gunnar's importance to the offense is only going to grow as the number of games shrink. Their willingness to let that guy be willing to die.
His willingness.
No, but they cage that. They have to stop that. They have to limit that from him by allowing, like, dude, they went like 6 weeks with no design quarterback runs.
Yeah.
In the middle of this stretch because they had to keep him from himself. Ain't none of that down this stretch.
Yeah.
You let him go eat in moments that we got to go win football games. I think that it changed how they call plays in the SEC championship game.
Completely agree.
So Notre Dame had to Riley Leonard the whole thing last year, and it's a miracle that guy finished upright. But they've been able to keep the horse in the stable for a long time offensively,
right,
with regards to their quarterback's aggressiveness. Right. Not anymore. We got 3 of these left.
Completely agree.
And they honestly, like, I don't know how y'all feel about Ole Miss. And I know we got a long time before that's the ultimate matchup, if that's what it is. I'm not worried about their matchup against Ole Miss.
It certainly favors Georgia.
So that means what is it going to look like against Ohio State or Oregon? And I love the idea that every 2nd and 10 is about to be 3rd and 4. I love that. And with that run game and that offense, middle of the field, in between the 38s, every 3rd and 4 is about to be 4th and 2. And every 4th and 2 is about to be a first down. If you watch that film study we just got done doing.
I do want to talk about one player because I feel like it would be a discredit to all of us if we went through an entire season awards discussion and his name didn't even get brought up, and it wasn't brought up not a single time. Nate Frazier, place him anywhere you want on this list.
Shout out Nate Frazier, man.
How it kind of started out and how some people decided to talk about Nate Frazier at that moment in time. Disgusting.
Can we just do a Juice Award?
Juice Award. Whatever.
Give it to Nate. Nate, you win the 2025 Juice Award.
One of my favorite things that I heard, and this was from one of those people that just sits there in front of a laptop screen and just reacts to football games, is one of those people that Nate Frazier came on the field and was, oh boy, here comes Georgia's mean-ass pit bull that they got, Nate Frazier. Like, that is Nate Frazier right there.
I'd say more Rottweiler.
Yeah, that is him. Like, that guy has been so important, and it's been so cool to see for him to start seeing him take further steps in his game and become a complete running back and be the game changer that he can be at running back. Like, that has been huge for this offense.
Also, my favorite personality on the team by a mile.
Yeah, another one of these guys. Just pure life.
Just somebody man, I wish I could hang out with that dude.
If you're juiceful, you're useful.
He is that. He is certainly that.
Absolutely.
So yeah, just want to make sure he's mentioned in this show.
What a good show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good time, boys. Flew right by. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button on your way out. I love you. We'll see you tomorrow. I got a lot for you tomorrow. I got an Oklahoma film study. I'll probably crank out 2 film studies tomorrow. I got to go see what else I'm going to study tonight. But, yeah, we got a lot of work. Love you. Bye.